YouTube, what's going on? Yo, today's video, I got something pretty special for you. So one of the most common things that I get asked is to do reviews of people's marketing plans, whether that's reviewing their TikTok, their Twitch, their overall content that they produce. And the other day I had somebody reach out that I was a little surprised to get an invite from. John C. Stout is an active content creator who actually has a larger profile than my own. He's got over 100,000 people that follow him on TikTok, 40,000 followers on Twitch. So when he slides into the DMs and asks me to do a review with him, I'm a little intrigued. We ended up having about a 2-hour conversation about everything that's going on in his business, and it was such a solid conversation that I wanted to bring it to you unedited and uncut. Now I know this is a longer video, so I don't expect you guys to sit through the full 2 hours. So what I did is down in the description in the bio, I broke up some time cues that will help break it up based on the topics that we were talking about. But if you have the time, honestly, this was such a thought-provoking conversation, one of the best ones that I've ever had. I would highly encourage you to stick through the whole thing and listen to it almost like a podcast than anything else. And make sure to do this. Listen, if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe to this channel by clicking the little button down below. And if you click the little bell next to it, you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video in the future. And if you like the video, do me a favor, like the video. We're still chasing to get 100 likes on one of these videos, so I'm hoping this could be the one. Help me out. Also down below, you'll find a ton of links to my other socials, where we go live on Twitch, out on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, the whole gambit. Also a quick shout out to our new sponsor, KNOSIS. If you're unfamiliar about KNOSIS, it's an unbelievable supplement that I started using a few weeks ago, and the results have been mind-blowing. Previously, I used to always use G Fuel, which is a great product, there's nothing against them, but I felt I was doing nothing more than just making energy drinks. KNOSIS is different. KNOSIS is really based around more healthy alternatives and healthy combinations of ingredients to bring you a more natural type of concentration. You're going to experience better performance, higher levels of endurance, but the thing that I love most about it is the blue light protection. As content creators, when we game or we edit videos, we're constantly staring at screens, which can be a strain on the eye. To have active ingredients that are helping protect that in my supplements is a huge W in my opinion. The product is phenomenal, the company is even more astounding, and if you want to give it a shot for yourself, do me a favor. Type in code BADBEAR at checkout and you'll get 10% off your order, plus help the stream. A link for KNOSIS can also be found down in the description below if you want to give it a shot. But that's enough of an introduction. Again, this is going to be a behemoth of a show, so let's get into it. Request all the time because I make a lot of videos about this type of stuff. But what's interesting in your case is on a lot of these metrics, actually, you're larger than I am. So I'm curious to kind of hear where your struggles are, specifically in the things that you're trying to hone in on. So walk me through your story. Kind of start at the beginning.
Beginning from photography, transferring into Twitch.
Yeah. So let's start with the photography business. So you said you built it on your own, correct?
Yep. 6 years, went full time in it 2 years ago.
Awesome.
And that was when, and I have no problem learning. And by the way, like I'm just giving you, I know people get real touchy with brands, but I've watched you and I've seen your metrics go up, and I have no problem being humble and being like, yeah, or not humble, but I have no problem taking instruction. I feel like people who don't know how to do that are going to fail all the time.
They always will. They always. And what I've learned through my journey is we so often want to look at top end individuals and say, these are the people that we need to learn from.
Yep.
But a lot of times, actually, you get a lot more inspiration from people who are smaller than you that are doing things correctly. Or specifically, I mean, I know I've gotten a lot of great ideas from smaller content creators that are doing something, but they're just not doing it right. Right. And so it's like I see this and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a smart move, but they're not doing it correctly. So I can adapt this, use this, do it correctly, or at least what I define that as, and put that into motion. So to your point, yeah, you always need to have that open. But so you started your photography business 2 years ago.
6 years ago. I just went full time 2 years.
2 years ago. Got it. Okay, so what was your primary marketing with that? What are you used to?
I was used to Instagram and word of mouth. I outworked a lot of photographers. Got work done quicker. Did a better job. And I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to say like what got me there.
Oh, I get it. No, I mean, effort and energy are two things you can always control.
Yeah, and so that took off and was able to. I mean, we recently moved to Kansas City, Missouri.
Who's we?
Me and my wife. I'm married
Wonderful.
and have 2 kids.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's one thing that's a huge driving force as well. Is
Yeah.
just like, and I'm sure you know this being a family man. And I'm
Yep.
not gonna lie, I freaking love when like you're just like, oh, you don't have time. Me neither.
It's,
right?
I mean, the whole I don't have time it's bullshit.
It is, man.
It's either
I
you
mean-
want it or you don't. You figure it out or you don't.
Exactly, and that's what I'm not gonna lie. I think that I talked to a few buddies of mine, and they were just like, it takes a lot. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'm stubborn enough to not quit. And that's what I see with yours is you were able to take something that is a very saturated market,
Yes.
and you're able to grow quickly. I've done the statistics. I've seen how long it can take, and your numbers with how long you've been doing this is not normal.
Yeah, we're at
And I'm
about
sure
6 months. And I'll share with you, I'm going to be as transparent on this as possible. I'm going to share with you some metrics that specifically lately, as we've been talking to more brands and talking to more, as we've grown, obviously there's been more outreach to interest for partners and things like this. And a lot of the stuff I might not be interested in, but what it does do is force me to dive into metrics because that's what they want to see. Hey, if we make a marketing investment into you and your brand, what does this really mean for us as a company?
Right.
And there's some metrics that are inside that again, I'm going to share with you that specifically are higher in my demographic by an astronomical margin than even top end streamers and even some of the people that have taken the same path as me. But yeah, the growth has been excellent. So you've been doing then streaming for 2 years now, right?
I started streaming January.
Okay, so you're yeah.
But so I want to let you know, all my 12,000 followers on Twitch, my 100,000 followers on TikTok came from one video.
Yeah, that's kind of how
one video. Well, that one video got heart sentimental behind it because I genuinely love talking to people. I have a hard time chit chatting, and so there was a video of me talking to one of my viewers who has never been problematic, never been any issue, and he opened up to me and told me that his wife was wanting a divorce. So the video was me stopping the stream, talking to him, and at the time we'd only had around 10 viewers. And so everyone knew the guy. Everyone knew him. The community came around him, and it was just a really cool moment. And so I posted that. I was like, as an advertisement of like, hey, this is a safe place for people who, want to have a conversation. Which before that, I wasn't expecting virality, and I don't think anyone can.
No, if you seek it, you never get it. The videos that you think are never going to go viral, the ones that do, the ones you think are going to go viral, never do. That's not only TikTok, it's social media.
Yeah, and I actually had a buddy of mine, Garrett Williamson, who had a viral blast for like 3 years. He's got videos that have multi-millions, like in the double-digit millions. And so, if it wasn't for my friends, I think I would have taken the hit a lot harder. But I don't think I used that moment very well because we actually had a stream where I had 180 people watching, and then it died down.
And where are you at today? Your average stream today is?
Average streams around 22 to 30. I mean,
interesting.
It can peak up to 50 for like the first 10 minutes, and then it goes down to 20 and then 30.
Got it. Okay. How many would you say of the 12? And I got your metrics right here. Let me pull it up. Okay. So I'm showing 12.6. How many of the 12.6 do you think came off of that one video?
11.
Okay, no, that's fair. No, that's fair. Okay, so big. I mean, we're saying like 90%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And now they're just empty followers.
Yep, I get it.
And I'm thankful for everyone that came, but it is insanely frustrating to look at them and just be like, where
so that's the curse of TikTok though. You know what I mean? So never before in the history of social media has there been an application that is more active driven or activity driven than TikTok has been, from a discoverability aspect all the way down to the ability just to get somebody to in 1 30-second period see content, engage with content, and become a follower or subscriber of your content that quickly, and that kind of discovery, it just doesn't exist. You have to grind on any other platform to build a following before that algorithm starts to say, hey, you're worth my time.
Yeah, it took me 4 years to earn 2,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
That was my full-time job.
Yeah. Instagram's a beast. I mean, YouTube's a monster. I mean, it all comes. They all have their challenges and they have their ups, right? I mean, there's pros and cons to each of them, and that's why. I mean, coming from a marketing background, I'm going to say this more for the content side than anything else. Then you probably know this. But one of the biggest mistakes that I see new advisors make, sorry, not new advisors, one of the biggest mistakes that I see new content creators make is they don't understand the platforms. They take one piece of content and distribute it in 4 different places. And while there's some things that have crossover, the majority of the content should be very different. Twitch, in our case, is your live feed, right? This is the heartbeat. This is what I see to get tapped right into the epicenter of what's going on, live and in the moment. Almost like this is your show. This is your viewership. Mm-hmm. TikTok is one of the best marketing funnels you can have, and we'll dive into some of your content there. But it is, I mean, it's supposed to be very video driven and realistically almost like adrenaline, right? We got very short amount of time to be catching attention. And if you take advantage of it, you can be highly successful. But again, it also has its downside. Instagram, though, obviously then is the visual aspect, dealing more in pictures than video. It should really be more story-based telling. Twitter is supposed to be the written word of you, like your mental capacity and what you're putting out there. And then YouTube is kind of your library, right? This is where kind of all your pieces come together, right? All the past recordings and all the VODs that you have. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people just make one piece of video and they just pump it out to every content. And it's like, it drives me nuts to scroll through Instagram right now and see really big content creators taking TikToks and just putting them on Instagram. Yeah. Like it's just
I tried to do that and it didn't work. I actually put those in my stories and then just because it's gone.
Yeah, I'll do it every now and then if it's a piece of content that I think is good, or especially if it's like something news breaking. Like even today there was a new release of a still image for the new Warzone map. So I made a TikTok about it. I took that same TikTok, put it in my Instagram story. But to your point, I'm not putting that on my Instagram. It's not a post. You know what I mean? It's gone. Yep. And I'm not taking that out to Twitter and putting it there. I'm not taking that out to YouTube and putting it there. Like you can create different content on these different platforms pretty easily if you're paying attention to it. So yeah, beautiful. So back to this. So you got all of it. I assume at this point, yeah, you do. You so you obviously hit the affiliate status. I mean, obviously you got the viewership. Where are you at with subscribers?
Subscribers actually. So like mine here. I'll just put exclamation subs since I'm already on. Mine. Subs is 201 subscribers. Nice. I have a massive amount of subscribers for my viewership. During that time of the blow up, I actually made around $7,000. Nice. For that month. So that kind of freaked me out.
Were was that through subscriptions or gifted subs or what?
That was through gifted subs. Yep. And so that has gone down dramatically, which it's still more than I've was. If it wasn't because of that viral video and that boost, which got a lot of new eyes on me, a lot of big supporters in, which has been awesome. But it definitely went down. I mean, we're now sitting at around 900 for this month's paycheck from Twitch. Which isn't my thing. Is like I'm trying to figure out ways to grow. One thing that I admire about you is that you were able to reach out to a lot of creators to get together. Yes. Caleb Francis being one of them, and he's got 1 million followers.
Yes. Chunky Hustle. I mean, my mentor in this business, and I'll kind of get into my marketing strategy and why it's very different. Yeah. When I was getting started, I was just pumping out content and reaching out to people. To your point, my biggest thing right away was networking, right? I wanted to identify with people that knew what they were doing, that could help teach me, because I knew video gaming, I knew marketing, but specifically, especially when it came to this industry, like this is all brand new, right? And I'm still learning as I go. when it came to things like tech specs, like I don't know about computer tech specs, so I'm sitting over here building a new PC so I can create a better produced stream.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I need to have people though that know all this. So networking was something that was very important to me early on, and I've been blessed to have a handful of content creators that are of my size, that we've all been kind of on the same path together. Big Rob Energy, Just Dish, who's just she's so awesome at content creation. Danny Dorito, like there's been some really, really cool people that have been at our level that we're all kind of hovering around the same followers on TikTok, same kind of stats over on Twitch. But early on I connected with Crusader, and that was that moment for me.
That was a fucking crazy moment. I saw that and I was like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, so before I started posting on TikTok, she was the person that I followed the most. And specifically, I spent probably a solid 3 months before I ever created content studying content. I made a TikTok about this, the difference between content creation and content consumption. We rush so often to content creation because I want to produce. I want to go. Yeah. Consumption, though, is absorbing other people's stuff and understanding what it is and why they did it. Why did they make that choice? Why are they doing it this way? Mm-hmm. And specifically at the time, we're talking, this is back January, February on TikTok. There was, 2% of the people making content that there are now. And she was one of the biggest accounts out there. But what she was doing was making content that was very unique, and her formatting was very strong. Yeah. She had a very clean outlay or overlay. She had a very clear, concise way that she was marketing. And literally how it happened was I posted a video. She got tagged in it by somebody else, actually commented on it. Mm-hmm. I commented back like, did you really just comment on this? Like dead emojis. She laughed. I slid into her Instagram DMs, and she even told me, she goes, I never checked these. She goes, it is by pure fate that you messaged me on this day when I'm going through and clearing these out, because literally any other day I might have just deleted this. But so I was kind of on her mind already from the aspect of, hey, here I was already engaged in her community, but her community is so large that it's not like she recognized just me. She doesn't recognize the one subscriber or the person who's coming in and posting. But I got her attention on TikTok. That slid over to an Instagram DM, because those DMs are the easiest to slide into. TikTok is pretty restrictive with theirs. Yeah. And then basically the thing I did right away from a networking perspective was I did not sit there and say, Cruz, I need you to mentor me. Yeah. If you do that, and I get tons of these, you're not going to get the outcome, because she doesn't give two shits about me, right? She doesn't give two shits about my brand. She doesn't know who I am, what I'm doing. Yep. If I just immediately ask her for something, it's going to go downhill.
And that's why when I asked you, I was like, is there any content that you have that I can digest? Because I want, like that's the thing with collaborations because I got burnout in photography. Yep. Collaborations didn't mean, hey, let's work together to where you get something and I get something. Yep. Collaborations in the photography world meant I'm going to get something free and you're going to have to pay for it with your time and your experience. And I was like, nope, fuck that. I want it to be fair and I want it to be equal. And that's why for streaming etiquette, things that I did was that collaboration is both parties getting something out of this.
Yeah.
So that's why
even at that level though, you have to approach it from like what I did. I had that in mind, but even more, I was like, how do I make this so this is a no lose situation for her? There's a lot of people that I study from a mindset standpoint, specifically in sales. This one came from Jason Capital, who I'm not a huge fan of a lot of his stuff, but this one was good, which is how do you create a no-lose situation, right? How do you give somebody and present somebody from a networking perspective something that they really can't say no to? And so what I offered to her was I said, hey, would you ever be open to sitting down and having a conversation? What I'll do, Cruz, is I'll record it, I'll edit it, I'll put it together, I'll give you all the marketing for it that you can promote. Obviously, I'll praise your you're singing to the high nines. Mm-hmm. All I need is just, hey, will you spend 30 minutes and just sit down and talk to me? Yeah. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And in that situation, right, what did I just offered her a whole bunch of free marketing. Now, is that marketing at the same level that she's at? No. But it did, I mean, continue to produce. And realistically, what she now has, which is, I think she continues to understand, is somebody who not only is a diehard supporter of what she does, but I sing her praises to the high nines. So as I continue to grow, like even right now, like I bring her up in a conversation, bringing her up because she knows what she's doing. She's extremely business smart. She's got a lot of this stuff figured out, obviously battling a lot of her own challenges being a female, but she's very strong-willed, very, very hardworking, and that has helped her get to where she is. I mean, she's dominated.
Yeah.
And so she's got kind of a ripple off of an initial yes and a 30-minute investment. Now she's got somebody who is growing that is singing her high. You know, you get 10 of those in your corner. Holy fuck. You know, then you really got some people and you're really able to do that whole networking. So
yeah, that
helped me take off. And I really studied with her. I sat down, did the interview. The interview's on my YouTube, but
yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, it was she was really down to earth. It was really lighthearted. But
you didn't geek out.
No, like, not as much as you had to reserve it.
Yeah, and you did it in a way that wasn't like, oh my god, I fucking love your stuff. Because like,
you got to be professional with it, you know.
But that not a lot of people understand that, and that's where I struggle with reaching out to people because I'm like, hey, I don't want to come off as a leech, because after that video blew up, especially on TikTok, because there was a lot of people that were like, could you buy me a PS5? I was like, bro, I have 2 kids and a wife,
yeah,
and I'm mortgaged. Like,
yeah,
no. I need this so my kids can thrive, especially with COVID. Dude, I lost so much work with photography.
Yep. I mean, we did. My industry did as well. I mean, we went down about 80% of our overall revenue in financial services because,
jeez, dude,
well, I mean, people didn't meet with people, right? Financial, if you're going to move hundreds of thousands of your dollars of your retirement money to another financial advisor, you want to do that face to face. You're not doing that over the phone.
Right. Exactly.
And so a lot of these, you know, many people are fine, you know, advisors that had good books of business, but a lot of them who were, you know, just getting started and newer and independent, they didn't have that to fall back on. They were relying on marketing. They were relying on new appointments, and they just didn't have it. So I get that 100%. I also get people, you know, reaching out and trying to leverage. I mean, literally, I counted it the other day. Right now, I'm averaging somewhere between 50 and 100 DMs per day right now. Between Discord, TikTok especially, and majority of it is somebody tags me in a video or shares a video with no context. They don't say why I'm tagged in this; they just tag me in it. And then there's some that, you know, I'd say then, you know, that's probably 80% of it. 10% of it is people asking to play. 5% of it is probably people asking for a free shout out or handout. And then I got to sort through to find that extra 5%, which is genuine people who either are trying to reach out and are looking for a lifeline, or are genuinely saying, hey man, I appreciate your content, with not asking nothing in response, you know, not sitting here saying, hey, you know, will you give me this or do this for me?
Yeah.
All right, so let me kind of walk you through. Let's dive through this then. So this is obviously the Twitch metrics and everything that's here. As we hop over, I have your TikTok as well. Mm-hmm. So your TikTok, you're sitting at 102. You said the majority of those came off of that one video.
Yeah.
Your content now, so at 100, your viewership is a little lower than you would expect. Let me do this real quick.
I don't know what Activision.
Okay. What I'm checking right now is to see how often you're posting, and you're posting actually at a very consistent rate. Oh, there's a big jump.
I'm doing my best to try to keep that up. I actually watched one of your video. A lot of the stuff that I'm learning is from Alpha Gaming, because you're behind marketing.
Harris Heller's smart.
It's just, oh, bro, he's insane. Like, yeah, and I'm learning, but I'm also trying to be like, okay, there's got to be something else that people aren't doing. Like, there's got to be, people are just doing gaming, or people are just doing whatever. It's like, I want to diversify myself to where it's a personality and not just he's a gamer. It's like, no, I want to be able to expand that. And yeah.
No, it definitely makes sense. And that was the one thing that I had this conversation with Stony Stark. Stony, obviously another big content creator over on TikTok.
Yeah.
Was telling me that his viewership took a dip and he couldn't figure out why. And I was trying to tell him that he brings a very, 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 very positive, very strong personal element to it. But him, along with a couple of the other content creators, specifically talking about like Sally as a dog, talking about Lucci, talking about Mark Clark. Mark Clark's a little bit of a different animal. But a lot of them got started with loadout videos, right? That's how they got popular.
Yeah.
And there's kind of three things, in my opinion, when it comes to gaming, three reasons people are going to follow you. Number one is you bring an educational element to it that I am not going to get on my own. And what I mean by that is by watching you, I get better at the game. There are streamers out there that do an unbelievable job narrating their style as they play, talking about why did I make this decision, or why am I looking for this, or why did I do that? Right? That's big time. Number two is you have elite gameplay. Now, this is where I think a lot of people feel they are, but only the top 0.1 of 1% are actually there, right? You're talking about people who actually play at a very high elite level. Lucci is one of these people, right? And actually, he kind of crosses off buckets 1 and 2 because he makes educational content, but he also plays at a very, very high level. Some of the other guys, though, think they're playing at a high level, but they're really not. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, that's why it was. I actually did a lot of research into that, and it's like, because there are insanely talented high level streamers. Like Tim the Tap Man is actually pretty good.
Yes.
For the people he's around, though, he's not the best. Like, he does some good plays, but he's so entertaining that it wouldn't matter if he didn't get a single kill at all.
That's number three, and that's where I built my brand. I'm not out there trying to claim that I'm the best player that's out there. But when you attend one of my streams, when you watch what we do live, we bring an entertainment value. And there's a couple of different ways strategically that I've always thought about that. But as long as that's there, I could play absolutely shitty and people could be having a good time. Because think about this from the consumer standpoint. COVID was a little bit of an anomaly where it opened up a gateway that had never been opened before because everyone was at home already. It made it very easy for people to want to attend streams and view streams and all of that. We're now getting into a position where that's fading away. People are going back to work. Places are opening up. People aren't just sitting at home necessarily. They're doing more. They're traveling a little bit. That's only going to continue to amplify. So if I'm a consumer, why am I watching you versus this or doing that? Yeah. And it could be that elite gameplay. It could be the education and him trying to get better. But in my opinion, actually, the most effective thing is the entertainment. And this is why Nick Merckx and Tim the Tap Man have been successful streamers for a long time. But in the last 12 months, they've seen more growth than they ever did before. And the reason why is because the two of them together bring an entertainment value that is the best on Twitch. It cannot be beat. They are just so toxic and so hysterical in their comments and the way that they interact and their mannerisms that it brings an entertainment value that they could get wiped in the first 30 seconds and you don't care because Tim's yelling, Nick is yelling at Tim, you know what I mean? And it creates not only content that they can cross market against, but a really entertaining value for the viewers where everyone's just like, okay, this is hysterical.
Yeah. I'm trying to find those people. I have certain people who, and I don't know if you found yours, but I've watched that. And that's where, like, I had very difficult conversations with people that were like, hey man, I can't stream with you. It's like talking to a brick wall. And if I'm wanting this to be my job, you don't watch a TV show beg for views.
Yep.
You watch it because it's entertaining.
Correct. And that's how you have to think about Twitch, is you are running a TV show. You're running a TV show that airs anywhere from once a week to, some people stream every day, 7 days a week. And why would somebody tune into that show? You really have to think about it from that perspective. So one thing that I've done, and anyone who attends my stream is going to know this, and I don't know where you're at with your streams, you very, very rarely will see me playing by myself. Very, very rarely. I will do independent games because I need a break from COD every now and then. So I'll play something like Spider-Man, or we just did The Last of Us. But I try to pick a blockbuster title to offset the fact that I'm not playing with anybody. And that's a skill that you have to learn, is how to be entertaining by yourself, and it's easier for me at this level than it was early on because I have a chat that I can interact with if I need to.
Right.
But you're right. If you got low viewership and you're trying to bring them in by yourself, that's tough. So the number one thing that I could tell you is, yeah, try to find people that are playing consistently, and networking inside of the community is huge. Because if you can get one or two people that are big personality people that can make you laugh and make other people laugh, and you play with them on a regular basis and it's entertaining, your viewership's going to go up. And I was blessed that I have my OG squad. These are people I've been playing with for 10 years. You know, two of them I went to elementary school with. One of them I went to middle school with. One of them I went to his wedding. We met on Xbox Live playing 10 years ago. Like, he invited me to his wedding. I've been out to see him. Like, these are people I've been playing with for years. Like, we're talking Halo 2 parties, landlines with Mountain Dew and Oreos. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So you guys just get each other and can banter back and forth without taking that low blow. That's like, all right, fuck you, dude. Like,
correct. And we can give each other shit, you know, and laugh it off, and we know each other's mannerisms. But that also leads to good gameplay because we know each other's gameplay styles. You know, I made a comment about this the other day where we were playing Call of Duty. We were playing quads. Two of our members were wipe. It was me and my buddy Jack, who, again, we played with each other forever. He was in my wedding, all of that. We literally didn't say a word and moved in perfect unison to counter sweep a team that was in a building. Like, he went through one door, waited for me to get around, and then we both breached at the same time, attacking from two different angles, and literally didn't say a word doing it. Like, that's just a level you just don't get to naturally, and that helps. But now I'm at a position where actually I'm playing with them less, not because I don't like them. Obviously, I love playing with them, but I'm getting opportunities to collab with a lot of other people. And that also, I mean, has done a great job back to the networking, because you find people that are succeeding at content creation. They have personalities, like they have something that they're bringing to the table. So I say all this is the long-winded answer to ask you the question, how often are you streaming by yourself?
Honestly, because the people that I just recently cut out, because not cut out, but it was like, hey, nothing personal, but I need people to talk with me. And if you can't do that, I totally get it. We'll play offline. But honestly, the friends that I do have, like, there's a guy, basically like my dude, who we've known each other since high school. We are literally perfect at bantering, but he's not able to get online all the time. So that was one thing that I had to learn early on. It's funny that you're saying being entertaining by yourself, because I tell everyone you have to do that. There's no reason that people would watch you without it. So, like, I've been able to do it pretty well by myself.
But your
Like,
viewership's going down.
it is going down. But I was also streaming 8 hours,
Yeah,
a
that's
day,
tough.
and I can't do
That's going
that.
to kill your averages. Yeah, I mean, I would.
That was the thing, though. That's what I'm looking at. Everything is, I was looking at your stream length, Harris's stream length. Like, I'm not including Tim the Tapman. None of those people. Those people could have viewers for a
Harris
24-hour stream.
Yeah, Harris is unique because he's getting, I mean, he's just built a business in such a different format, right? And he's doing content creation full time. I think if you take the full-time content creators off the table and you look at the rest and you say, okay, what are they doing and how are they doing it? It's really, really interesting to take a look at the amount of time that people do spend streaming versus content creation. And I think it should be a 50-50 split. For every minute that you're streaming, you should be doing a minute of content creation in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
I prefer my streams to be about 4 hours. Lately, they've been closer to 6.5 to 7, which is just me not getting off when I should. And my viewership does dip over time. I mean, we'll start a stream now with 70 something viewers, 80 viewers, and it'll go. I mean, yesterday's a great example. I think we peaked at 120 something, and yeah, it's great. And but by the end, I had 50. I mean, it's a fraction of what it was. Still, I mean, it's not that I'm balking. I mean, I'm happy that 50 people at 2 a.m. are spending time with me.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. By the way, I never answered your question. I stream mostly by myself, and that's because I can't find anyone. And I'm honestly just nervous of coming off like a leech, because there is a reason we collaborate with people. They have a big following. They have a good personality. And so I have a hard time being like, look, I have 100,000 followers. Most of them know you. Do you want to collaborate? because I have this metric and you have that metric. Like it, because I don't know. I have such a hard time like using people, like, or not using people, but using people for
Coming
content.
across as if you're trying to use somebody, right?
Yeah,
You want to
yeah,
be, you want to be organic in it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was super grateful for when you said, "Yeah, I can hop on a call." Sure.
Well, but
Anytime. I was like, "Do I need
here's what happens though, right? I mean, you got to leverage the information you have. I mean, let's be transparent about what happened here, right? Again, I get these invites all the time and requests to do these things, and I'll always pull up people and check and see what they're doing. Usually I'll try to extend a helping hand if somebody's making content creation. What immediately made me be like, yeah, no problem, let's do this, is I'm looking at your numbers and saying, this is an interesting call for me to take, right? Because this is a person who, again, kind of like I started this by saying, is larger than me in a lot of these different metrics. So, okay, what is he dealing with? Wait, what is the story here? And we've covered that already. What are some of those challenges? But to the same point, when it comes to content creation, like that's going to help you with those collaborations, is reaching out to people, because what they'll do is they'll immediately pull up your profile, because what they're doing is they're validating, does this make sense? Is this a person? And they're not trying to say like, is this valuable for me? They're trying to say, listen, is this somebody who actually is taking this seriously? Somebody who's actually growing a following, somebody who's actually putting in the time, the effort, and posting things consistently and doing things the right way. Because if they are, perfect. I'm all in for collaborating. But if they're not, if they're somebody who makes half-ass videos and they do them once a week and they're just asking me so that they can boost their viewership, like, no, fuck that. I don't have time.
Yeah. Well, I think we all want this to be our job.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So the number one thing that I would tell you is the collaboration is going to be big, and finding people to connect with. And specifically, if I were you, I would be gunning for 20. First of all, pick games that people are in, right? You can get off brands, because I'm looking at your games that you play right now. There are certain games that, listen, you can play by yourself and have a great time, right? There's nothing wrong with playing, an RPG or something like that. And, being like, again, I'm playing Spider-Man. My viewership is about half of what it is on a Call of Duty night with Spider-Man. I know that. I go into it knowing that. I don't care. I need that to keep myself fresh and keep gaming fun.
Right.
But then, like, Among Us is one of those things that I also sprinkle in there, but I do it with people. Like, I'm not just hopping into lobbies by like, it's always I get invited or I put the night together. But the majority of the time I'm playing Call of Duty because it has the most draw and the most attention. My viewership is the highest. I enjoy the game. That helps. But I also have a larger community that I can draw off of. So specifically, I would be looking at content creators, if I were you, that are, again, either good-sized Twitch creators who are just getting started on TikTok, and I have a few that I could recommend to you, or people that are growing from TikTok over on Twitch, and they got like 20,000 or so TikTok followers, right? And you can kind of see that growth, because there are people that will take the fuck off, and there are people.
I've collaborated with two. There was Zach Whoop, who was blowing up for by blowing up, I mean like he was gaining like 1,000 every week followers, and we clicked pretty quick. The Asian JC on TikTok, but these are all people lower than me. Not lower in stature, but like lower in followers and numbers and everything like that. And it's you don't. This is the thing that was hard for me to see you do. And I'm not gonna lie, it really hurt my pride for a little bit, because you reached out to Caleb. I don't know if you did or if you had a connection with Caleb Francis, or you just messaged him. But that guy
he followed
massive.
my stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, he followed my stuff probably 6 months ago, maybe.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, but again, the reason why he's following, and I don't know if I really got into this. I started talking about this, but so when I learned from Cruz, we were talking about those various metrics. I talked about how my branding is about entertaining. My videos, very rarely do I do a loadout video. Very rarely do I do breaking news videos. I guess I just did one, but they're pretty rare. Majority of time, it's stuff about positivity. It's stuff about helping people, or it's gameplay that's funny. You know what I mean? It's like me failing to the 10th degree, like just an awful play. And so you create these hysterical moments and these funny, entertaining clips, and one of them goes viral. Yeah, you start attracting people that are content creators, because what's Caleb's stuff? Caleb's stuff is comedy, and he games on the side. You know, he's building a good Twitch following, but his main stuff is little sketch comedies, and he does it unbelievably. But you can branch into his world by immediately having content that relates to him. Big Rob Energy, who's got 120,000 followers, I think. He connected with me because he saw one video, right? And now he's got my note. We text. You know what I mean? Like, you start building these networks and taking advantage of them when they come through, and it just takes one. But to your point, right? You got to ask yourself, what video went viral? Your video went viral was a sentimental video, which there's nothing wrong with. But big content creators look at that and they say, "Oh, that's nice, but that's not really why I'm going to follow somebody."
Yeah.
You will get a lot of followers from that, the general public, but content creators look at that and they say, "That's a nice video." They click like, and maybe they'll comment and say, "Dude, that's awesome," and move on.
Yeah.
But if you can get, again, people like that, it's big time. But yeah, I mean, that's what happened with Caleb. Was I forget which video, but one of the videos he just followed me on. And again, we didn't really talk for a while. And then when the Among Us thing happened, I just messaged him. I said, "Hey, we're doing this. I've got a bunch of content creators I'm pulling together. They're around this size. I got some that are your size. Chunky Hustle's one of them. Right? Chunky Hustle's got like 1.2 or something like that. You know, so he doesn't feel like, hey, I'm just joining a bunch of small streamers and, you know, hey, we can knock this out."
Yeah.
But you also got to look at it from the perspective of there's certain times that, especially when you start getting to larger people, you have to respect that. Cruz and I have never played together. And we've talked about doing it. And if we do it, we're probably going to do it off stream because we're not, first of all, she wouldn't be, it would be me. I want her to know that I'm not trying to play with her for clout chasing. I'm not trying to use her name. Right. I genuinely value that relationship. And that's one of the reasons why I've never asked her to say, "Hey, we should game."
Yeah.
It's just not that relationship, right? I'll message her a funny GIF, like, you know, I'll DM her about, you know, some funny thing that happened or something that's happening in TikTok or the gaming world. We'll have conversations about that, merch drops, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to try to leverage her brand and everything that she's worked with. Now, if she ever offered that, that's something different. Right? If she ever was like, "Hey, we should game," or we should drop in some time, or feel free to stream, like, that's different. But I'm not going to make that assumption.
Yeah.
But from a networking standpoint for you is, I'd go, I mean, I would start looking at, okay, who are some of these people, like going through a For You page. And if you identify somebody who has a personality, here's what I'll tell you. If you start interacting with them and making a thoughtful effort, and I'll explain what that means in a second, they'll quickly pull up your profile, see that you have as many followers as you do, and likely drop you a follow. And the second you got follow on with that person, now you can DM them, right? And say, "Hey, thanks again for this. Literally, I think your content's so great. You know, if you ever want to play together at some point, let me know." Leave it there. Done. They say yes, awesome. If they don't, they don't. But what I mean by thoughtful is commenting on a few of their videos, not in a spam way, like, "Hey, I'm going to do this all at once," but be tactical about this. Identify who are kind of the 5 people you're most interested in that don't currently follow you. Pay attention to when they're posting things and leave a actual thoughtful comment about the video. Don't just say "great video," you know?
Yeah.
No, something thoughtful that will usually get them to like it or respond. And they see that 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, whatever it is. Now they're starting to link up. Eventually, all they need to do is click on your profile to say, "Oh God, this guy's got followers. All right, perfect, I'm in." I mean, that's how even small time people can get followed. I have people that I follow that literally don't make content. If you go to my follow list, they're on that list and they don't make content. The reason why is because they're a supporter of what I do, right? They take time. They consistently post on my videos. They come into my Twitch stream. So for me, that's the least I can do for them, you know, is drop a follow.
Yeah.
But that's the top way to network. And then again, once you start branching out, you start meeting, because people know people. You know what I mean? You get into a game with 3 other content creators, and now you got them on your friends list. And assuming that, you know, the variable you can't control here is whether you have what it takes. But assuming that you're like, I can produce a pretty quality content. I can be a pretty entertaining person. If you can do that, then the rest is, you know, then they'll recognize that and they'll say, "Yeah, I enjoy playing with these people." And there's a handful of people that's how we started, was just one night on a collab, and now it's literally like, if I have an open spot, I'm going to send this individual a message. Like, they're my top choice outside of my OGs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just,
go ahead.
Well, no, it's just building that relationship. I'm down for doing that. I think I've experienced so many people who are clout chasing that I'm just that's always in the back of my head. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
like I
but there's a difference between, you can tell somebody from the content they produce kind of what they're doing. You know what I mean? There's a difference between a 2,000 follower person and a 20,000 and a 200, right? I mean, it's kind of like the more it sounds silly, but the more followers somebody has on a platform like TikTok, and that's really what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
The more content, the more time and effort they're really putting into what they're doing, the more they actually care about it. They might have had one video that really went viral, but even in like your case, like you say that you're still producing content, like you care, right? I can see just by pulling up your profile that you give enough of shit about it to, it makes sense to, you know, even for me to take time out of my day like this to have this type of conversation. It makes sense because you're trying, right? You're out here, you're trying to make this work. And if I can share one piece of wisdom over a 60-minute call that makes sense for you, like that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah, networking and collabing, I think, is going to help you. And from that perspective, I was going to tell you, so the metric that I shared with you earlier that in my community is so outrageous is I have right now, I think 4.6 thousand followers on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
I had last month, 61% of them are subscribers.
Holy shit, dude.
It's higher than, I have more subscribers than a lot of people with 10 times the followers of me or more. And the reason why, twofold. Number one, I interact with my community massively. I am very, very reachable. I'm very, very approachable, usually from a Discord perspective. But because I interact with them, they support me more than I deserve. And they gift subs left and right. I've had a couple of things you cannot ever expect. Just complete generosity on some of these people's behalf. But I mean, the reality is that you build a community around positivity and give them an opportunity to interact. Discord is a service that I don't know how and I can pull yours up. Actually, yours is in the link tree. That's the one thing people don't take advantage of enough.
I see my thing, and you can educate me on this. I don't know how okay, when you say you're reachable,
mm-hmm.
Are you reachable on a personal Discord level? Like people can message you personally, or do they tag you in the Discord? Or
Both.
On all platforms, do you answer as much as you can?
I answer as much as I can on all platforms. TikTok has become damn near impossible. Yeah. I will have nights where I try to sit down, but the problem is the way the new algorithm works, it continues to spit out viewers on videos that happened a month ago. Mm-hmm. So I can get literally, even right now, I got a video that I know is going viral. It was a delayed fuse. It's going viral right now. I posted it like 3 weeks ago. Like, it's really tough for me to consistently look back and go through the comments to make sure everyone has an answer. I could do that, A, when the algorithm was different, but B, when I had less viewers because I was getting less comments, you know? I mean, it was easier to do. Yeah. All right, so let me pull this up. I'm going to actually flip my Discord over so that I have this in my recording of what's going on here.
Okay. And by the way, I am video recording this, one for me to look back on and just go through, but also if you want a copy of this for a clear footage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Absolutely. So I'm on your Discord right now. So you have actually quite a bit. Let's start here. You have actually quite a bit of members within your Discord. Mm-hmm. You know, you got a good community that's there. So let me show you the kind of the big difference.
Okay.
This is your Discord, how it functions. You got a rules page. You got an announcements page. You got the bot that's posting anytime that you go live. Mm-hmm. There's a sub-only chat, newest uploads. But look, the number one thing I see is look how much you're posting.
Yeah, no, I'm rare. I'm not gonna lie, I'm rarely on there.
Yeah. I mean, it's but even more is your community's not on there. Like they might follow it, but they're not in it.
Yeah.
So do me a favor. Did you join ours?
Yeah, I did.
So click on ours right now. Yes, click on ours. So same type of thing. We got a rules. I'm just going to go on the servers on the left and make our way down. Servers on the left, my announcements page, but even click on announcements right now.
Okay.
Like you'll see I'm doing right now in October Madness,
Mm-hmm.
where in the month of October, I laid out, I created this graphic that shows, hey, here's the perks that we're going to do as we hit different levels and things that we're going to be doing. And you can see people interacting. They can't post on these pages, only I can, but they can interact with them. And so you see all the little things that they're interacting with.
Yeah.
The live is then my opportunity to communicate back to them and tell them every time I'm going live. That's free advertisement. If they're in the Discord, I mean, shit, they're going to get 2 notifications every time I go live. They're going to get one from Twitch and one from Discord.
Yeah. Which I do too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You got the YouTube page. I have a YouTube page. My schedule for the week. I'm a variety streamer. That means I don't stream the same days every single week. So on Sundays, I'll look at what my
What that means?
It means 2 different things. Yeah, it means you don't stick to a schedule.
Gotcha. I think I've been not understanding that phrase.
Well, it also can mean that you play a variety of games. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it meant. I was like, shit.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm a variety streamer, right? It means that you're gonna have to do a little bit of effort to realize what I'm doing. What days am I streaming? What games am I playing? What mood am I in? I mean, that's a variety streamer. It's not heavy. Every time you log on, I'm going to be playing Call of Duty. That has been my mainstay. But again, kind of like I said, I'm not afraid to pick up Spider-Man. I'm not afraid to take multiple days off and cancel a stream. I'm not saying these are my set days. This is what I do. This is all I do. I'm more than that.
No, and I sorry about my cough, by the way.
You're good. You got COVID.
No,
kidding,
yeah,
I'm
that's
kidding.
the thing. Yeah, no, my wedding clients are like, "You've gotten tested, right?"
Yeah, you're dying. You're
Yeah,
dead. You're
I can't
coughing.
afford
If you're
to be
coughing in this
COVID.
day and age, you're dead.
You're dead. Well, I was gonna ask you, do you do that? Do you change up your schedule so people will come to Discord and check it out?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, not intentionally. I change up my schedule so that it fits my lifestyle. It fits the days I need off. It fits what my week is going to look like, whether I'm needing some extra time for family reasons, whether I'm needing extra time for personal reasons just to take it off, or I'm just,
See, that part
sick.
doesn't make sense to me. That is one of those things that I've never heard someone do. They're like, "Oh yeah, I changed my schedule."
Mhm.
Nope. That was never advice I was ever given by.
Yeah,
anyone.
they tell you to set it and to set it like a TV show. Here's what I found though. The stream itself.
And by the way, I'm not mad. I just get passionate when I'm talking.
No. I didn't take it that way at all. I didn't take it that way at all. No. But the answer to that is they're correct from a standpoint of if people are going to consistently interact with you, they need to know when you're going live and all, what's your schedule.
Yeah.
There is some truth to that. But, and this is again something I learned from Cruz, the one thing you can't fake is yourself. And if you're in a shitty mood and you're forcing yourself to go live, it's going to show. And if you do that, and I specifically remember there was a night that I did this and I told myself beforehand I shouldn't do this, and I did it anyways because I had it on the schedule.
Yep.
I started off the night with 80 something views and very quickly was at 40. Yep. I was in a pissy fucking mood, and it was just clear as day. And you can't fake that shit. Sometimes you can flip the switch. Hey, I'm tired, right? Okay, get some coffee and you can crank that out. But if you're just overall in a bad mood, some shit happened, or you just need time away, you just got to take it, and you got to give yourself that flexibility to do it. And so by keeping myself always liquid, always fluid, I can do that at any time.
Yeah.
I had one of the bigger nights that we ever have is Dubs with Subs. We did one last night, right, where I'm actually playing with the community. I had one where I had to cancel. So I promoted it. I put it on the schedule. Everyone was super excited, and I had to cancel it. But I'm able to do that relatively easy because that's not an abnormal thing to have to move something. But anyways, yeah, every week I'll come up with my schedule for the week, and I'll also post to them what's going on. So like on here with my schedule, you see, who I'm collabing with on various days or what games are happening. Who I'm playing with. So Thursdays with the OGs. Friday I'm either playing Spider-Man or I'm just going to take the day off because I'm not going to force myself to go into Call of Duty.
Yeah. And that was the thing is I played a different game yesterday. Yesterday I was just like I'm so tired of Warzone. I'm so tired of Call of Duty. Especially I'm not going to lie, like I'm low-key pissed at the guns that they keep putting in there.
Yeah,
I
it's
take
stupid.
advantage of them, but I'm just annoyed with the game.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And so yesterday I tried Hades, which was great because there was I don't know what it was, but it was just great energy all around. And my main people were talking. It was a great conversation,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of new people, and then it went dead. And I I did all the checklists in my head. I was like, all right, ask the stream questions, be entertaining, add some funny moments, fuck up on purpose to make it like look fun, and nothing happened. And it was just one of those things. It's so and by the way, after I came into your stream, I turned off my viewership. I keep that off the entire time. And that's actually helped me be entertaining more, is because I'm not looking at it.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the numbers. I've thought about
Yeah.
it. I'm too data driven.
Well, I mean, like, I can do it after the stream.
No, but
it
I completely know what you're saying. It sucks to look up and say, kind of like I've said on this, right? I started with 88 and now I'm at 40, and that only puts you in a worse mood because you're like, where the fuck did everyone go?
exactly. Yeah, and it's frustrating at the same time, because I know I'm doing better than the average,
Mhm.
especially right now. I'm
Mhm.
doing way better than the average. I have to keep that in check. You're doing extremely better than the average, especially like years beyond. Like, I have a buddy of mine who's has millions of views on videos on YouTube, very popular in the YouTube community. He's only got 30 viewers, and he's been doing it for 4 years. And
Yeah,
I was like,
it's really, I mean, a lot of the old school people, right? I mean, it was way more of a grind than it is today for
yeah,
them. People who've been doing it 4 or 5 years. I've had a few different people reach out, and actually, it's a little bit frustrating because they're very bitter about it. Not all of them, not and by any means all of them, but a few of them, just because they knew what it was, right? And it's kind of like anyone who started streaming in 2020 jumped in when, again, there was an opportunity that had never been there before, which was
right.
TikTok being a funnel that immediately flies over, that nobody was really paying attention to, and now everyone's paying attention to it. And then number two is everyone was at home, so it was easy to pick up viewers quickly because people were looking for things to do. So if I could be entertaining watching video games, I might tune into Twitch, where I've never pulled up Twitch before in my life. But I'm doing it because I'm stuck at home and I've seen all the movies on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So they, people who had been doing it the last 4 years, grinding, making YouTube content, making Instagram content, doing everything right, but it's just a much slower burn. Look at these people coming on the scene and blowing up very quickly, and are very, not all of them again, but there is some bitterness that's there. You just got to recognize it and respect it. I mean, you got to respect the people that have been doing it and grinding and trying to piece it together. And I've had even some of those people reach out and ask, okay, so how do I use TikTok? Like, how do I do this? And again, I'm more than open to help answering, because I look at it and I say, I can recognize immediately, hey, this is somebody who's doing this.
Yeah.
But back to the Discord. So yeah, I got my schedule that's right here. Alpha Club is something that we just created that is going to...
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so it's going to be one-on-one kind of mentoring with me. So every month we're going to pick a few members that either earn their way in through gifted subs or random selection. Or there's a way you can get in a lifetime membership by extremely gifting. We just had our first member do it, who's gifted over 500 subs to the community.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing, though.
Yeah, it's nuts. But what you get is, if you're part of Alpha, is you get direct contact to me and the mods almost all the time. So specifically, like, we're talking about, for me to take 60 minutes out of my time to do a call like this and to really kind of walk someone through, hey, here's the things that can help you. Right, that takes a lot of time. I have to be very motivated to do that. I'm not going to do that for everybody. Right. Alpha Club are the people that I'm saying, hey, I'm dedicated for this month to do it for you. Or if you're a lifetime member, you got me. I'm here. What do you need? Yeah. You're having trouble with your streaming setup. You want to upgrade your PC. You want to talk about PC specs. You want to collab on something, right? I mean, I'm going to promote them in my social media on certain things. They're going to get additional badges, some extra perks. Like, I mean, it's a way for me to say thank you to these people that are operating at a very high level, but I also did not want to make it just, pay to play type thing. It's only people who gift. That's why we're also doing every month some random individuals where we'll pick people who, just randomly are part of the community. Usually I'm sure we'll select people that are content creators themselves and give them the same talk. And the beautiful thing about it is we created a chat that's going to be down here, that's going to be exclusive for them. And every month that's going to change. But the chat log's always going to be there. So if you hop in and you're in October, or I guess December, you're going to see all of the November conversation that took place, even though some of those members might not be technically part of the club that month. So it's a really good resource to kind of go back and read things, and then also ask your own questions, get kind of an overall audit. But that's a way that I'm interacting with them on a level that some content creators won't, right? In a very, very exclusive way. And then we just recently created this leaderboard to create a little bit of competition, but also give recognition.
Right.
We created roles for those people so that they're recognized differently inside of the Discord. You can see two of them are online right now. I mean, our top bit leader, Danny Baby, who's fucking awesome. She's unbelievable. And then Cardog, who's been a huge supporter, also a content creator. Actually, I was playing with him not yesterday, the day before, on Monday. And yeah, I mean, it's just, they get recognized on here, and then the alpha people are going to have a red badge, so they get recognized that, hey, they're part of alpha this month or for life. But that's all stuff that I'm doing to promote. But then what that does is it starts to create this community where you can do things. So like, let's look at my actual servers. This is my general conversation, right? And just people sharing stuff and talking. And you see, like midday today at 3:01, I commented on somebody posted their streaming setup. That's a dope setup, right? And so I'm commenting back and I'm writing back, so dope. But they're sharing with one another and talking.
Yeah.
Memes where they want to post things that are funny. Clips where they can post clips of themselves, or my mods are also spamming this with clips from us. Artsy stuff if they have that. YouTube suggestions. Connect and play was a really smart idea that we did, where they can post their own gamer tags and play with one another.
One of those for my server too.
Yeah, AMA and Ask Me Anything, where people can just ask questions and people will respond. When we first started this, it was just me. Like if I go all the way to the top, which I don't know, this might take some time because this is like one of our most popular servers.
Yeah.
But anyone who comes in here can ask questions about streaming, video games, life, whatever. And right away, it was just me answering them. And then my mods started to get involved, and my mods were helping take the bear off because some of them, it got so popular that I couldn't just do it by myself. I'm not going to be able to get to the top. I'm only in August at this point.
Yeah.
But now it's to the point where like blue or yellow's my mods.
Okay.
Like Baker here is answering it, but purple's just a subscriber. That's another content creator. But people are just asking questions and they're answering each other.
Yeah.
So they're sharing with one another. And again, I'll hop in every now and then. And specifically if someone tags me in something, like wanting to ask me directly, like right here, I'll take the time to potentially respond and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's created a really good. And then on top of that is a self-promo page where all these content creators that are part of my community can promote their own stuff. Right. And so anytime they go live, they can use my Discord and post in here. Now, what they can't do is they can't tag, at everyone so everyone gets a notification.
Yeah.
But it gives them an outlet and something that they can plug into. And realistically, what it is for me is I love it on days when I'm doing content like tonight. I can pull this up and see who's live. And I pick 2 or 3 people that went live a little bit ago. I'll hop in and interact with them. And that, again, just strengthens that community bond between me and them. Because they look at me like, okay, this is the big, this is the big streamer that we're connected to and following, to get that the reciprocation of that appreciation, to know that, hey, I care enough about them to hop into their stream even for 5-10 minutes just to say hi and drop a follow or a sub. Like, it means the world.
Yeah. But that actually demystifies something, because I thought, this is what a buddy told me, and I'm sure it's true in his avenue, and I'm new to this. I'm used to like 2-hour-long conversations about hard issues. Let me know your life, like I came from that kind of family. And a buddy of mine, which he's not a Twitch guy, he's a YouTube celebrity, and he was saying, be close enough to where they think they know you, but be far enough to where they can't get access to you whenever they want. So
Correct.
The time that you choose to come in, they have all that, and then you back off and you go away.
Yeah, correct. I control my own schedule. I mean, again, great example. If we go back to AMA, where was I tagged? Tagged right up here. Tagged right there. And I did respond to this one, but right there. So they tagged me. I never responded to that. Tagged me. I never responded to that. And it's 100% not because I didn't want to. It's just I didn't have time.
Right.
Someone responded, hey, when you're done in Premiere Pro, how do you do this? Now, somebody else stepped in and helped answer the question, it looks like, which helps.
Yeah.
But the reality is yeah, I won't answer all of them because I don't have time to sit here and sit on that. The same is true with my DMs, like my general messages. I get tons of them.
Yeah.
I try to respond to as many as possible, but the reality is there's too many to get to all the time. So because of that, there is that little bit of disconnect to your point where, yeah, I'm very relatable, right? I'm very good about recognizing people who are in the stream consistently. And when they pop in and they like comment back to them and say, hey, you know, awesome, oh, good to see you, so-and-so, whatever. But you also need to recognize that people come and go. Like, I was just talking to one of my mods about this the other day. A lot of the people who are there, there's still some people who've been there from day one, and they're fucking awesome. But there's a lot of people that were there day one that aren't there now. And it's, some of them might not like the fact that I grew. We used to play with followers and stuff all the damn time, and we just can't at this level.
Yeah. I had a lot of people leave, and I'm sure you've gotten this comment, but they're like, you're just not the same.
Yeah.
You just don't talk to me like you can.
Yeah.
It's like that was the hard thing with the mat, and it really screwed me up because I was prepared to work at this for the next 2 years to earn 30 viewers to 20 viewers. That was the trajectory. 2 years. And that was the amount of time I was going to give myself to do this part-time. And if it made it full-time, then dive deep like I did with photography. And I just didn't know how to take that when people were like, well, you're not available all the time. I was like, I'm not available to just you anymore. I have to be available to 70 other people in Discord and people on Instagram and TikTok, especially. Like my DM, I barely answer my DMs because they're the same comment, and my
DM, I mean, again, I'm getting so many DMs now. I'll go through them and I'll identify what it is and what's valuable and try to find authentic stuff. But the majority of the time, no, I'm not responding. You know, again, if somebody tags me in a video with no context, I'm not responding to that.
Yeah.
But this is another thing that, fuck, who was I just watching who was talking about this? Maybe it was Harris, actually. Think about it from this perspective, right? All your mediums that can be income producing revenue assets. Take TikTok off the table because it's a funnel, but it doesn't, even the creator like you're not making money there. It's a funnel to other things. So take that off. YouTube, you can make money. It's got very good margins once you hit the certain statuses and you're able to get ad revenue if you're doing it correctly. Instagram, you can make money. Sponsorships and partnerships, you can make money. Merch, you can make money. But at the end of the day, right, the only real direct, I guess, merch a little bit because they're buying stuff, but all the other money is coming from content that I'm creating. I'm being the source of it.
Right.
With Twitch and subs, I'm not the source of it. I'm the product, but the viewer is the source of that income. They are making the decision, is this person worth me giving $5 a month to? And we've kind of talked about early on, there's that entertainment factor, there's that education factor, great gameplay, I want to support this person. But the aspect that's missing is this community, right? Are they getting $5 right now, as you look at everything that I have here for my community, is this worth $5 a month to somebody? Yeah. And understanding that they got it for free when they first, you can join my Discord for free. You don't have to be a sub. But that's
got enough value.
Yeah, for some of these people, it's worth more than that. And that's why they step out and sub and gift subs the way they do. It's because they want to support what's going on as much as they can. Is some of it self-serving? Sometimes, right? Because they want to be, as the community grows, they know, hey, I'm betting on this thing blowing up and I'm going to be at the top of this leaderboard and recognized as, as a mod within this community or as a top gifter, my name will be known within this community. But the majority of times, no, it's nothing more than just people recognizing the value of what's here and wanting to support it back.
Yeah.
And again, that's what's nuts.
Sorry, you go on.
No, I was gonna say that's what is important, is to ask yourself that question when you are streaming is am I giving this person $5 worth of value between everything that I'm doing?
Yeah, I was gonna, because I have something like incentives. So every month, and I just started this 2 months ago. Every month I pick someone to give free merch to who is a sub. And that could be one item in my store. That could be a $2 mug, or that could be a $45 hoodie. And it's just incentivizing it to where it's like, is it worth? And that's what I'm trying to. And this kind of leads into the next question, but like incentivizing it to where it's like, they have their content. They have their free content if they choose, but they also get something really awesome. Maybe if they give the sub, and then there's the incentive of like you could be wearing a hoodie that is really comfy that I wear like every other day,
Mhm.
and
And
merch
that's, I
from
mean,
that.
yeah, like our dubs with subs, you have to be a sub to be a part of that. Our
Yeah.
merch giveaways, or our, we just got sponsored by KNOSIS. We did 2 canister giveaways. You had to be a sub to be a part of that raffle. Like, yeah, the benefits, there are very, very strong benefits to being a sub to the channel.
Yeah.
But again, the question is how much can you cram into that to the point where they literally say, this isn't worth $5 to me, this is worth way more.
Yeah.
And when you can build that, again, that's why Discord is kind of this unspoken behemoth that nobody really wants to tackle or conquer. I mean, the ones that are doing it smart. Here's a great example. That Ginger girl, love her. Her content is blowing the fuck up right now.
Yeah.
Go to.
I can't wait to see how much information, because I think this is information that people. It's one of the things that's.
So a couple weeks ago, where was she at? 20? 20,000 followers? It's pretty much doubled almost in 3 weeks. Something like that, maybe 4.
Lord, dude.
Mm-hmm. But what she does is she's extremely personable. Her marketing is in back. She's super smart. We're talking went to Oxford smart. Her whole background is in marketing, and she's extremely smart. Now, it helps the fact that she's an attractive female. I'm not going to lie and say that isn't a benefit, but that'll get people to pop in. But to get people to stay, you got to have this X factor. And she's got it to the point where when you go to her stream, she's super interactive. Her content is super vibrant. It stands out, which is very, very smart. But then again, there's somebody who's blown up, built a community. She's titled it. They're the OGCs, the original Ginger crew, right? And so when you join, you're part of the OGC. And, you know, they have the same type of things where there's people posting stuff and interacting with each other, and you build part of a community. Why the hell do you think frats are so fucking popular? It's not because, people want to go party, but it's the networking. Yeah. Right? You join a frat for the networking. You join a frat to be able to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and people will spend thousands of dollars just to get into one. This is, the ability to become, most of these people, these aren't frat folks, right? These are people who are deemed nerds and deemed as outsiders. Not all of them, but a large, if you like video games, you're not, quote, normal. We all know that, right? We come from the island of lost toys. But if we can band together and find people of common interests and find people who are interacting, that's huge, right? So she's done an unbelievable job with her community. And when she streams, she interacts more with, I did a collab with her.
Oh, shit. She follows me. Nice.
There you go.
Okay.
But she's one of those people that I did a collab with her again about 3 weeks ago.
Yep. So
what she wasn't ready for was in my streams, I'm very interactive with who I'm talking to. So I'm trying to talk to her, right? But in her streams, she's super interactive with her chat. So she wasn't ready for me sitting here throwing 21 questions at her. And meanwhile, she's trying to talk to her chat, because I'm not just like, hey, what kind of chicken wings do you like? No, like I'm sitting here being like, so walk me through your childhood and walk me through your tell me your story.
Right.
But that's why she's blowing up, is because people connect with her. She's very personable, and she's a great example of what I think up and comers should strive to be. And so when it comes to your Discord, she's an example of how you do it right, which is you build a community. You need to have people that are going to be there when you're not. You need to have mods that are lights out at what they do. I've got a couple that just do unbelievable work for me behind the scenes, whether it's, again, if I go back to mine, you saw a couple of them going, like Baker here, he's so good at what he does of interacting with people when I'm not around and responding and just kind of giving answers and stuff like that. He's a mod not only for my channel, but for also my actual Discord. And then I have my Twitch mods like EJ, who's brand newer. We promoted him I think 2 weeks ago, but he's doing a great job taking clips and putting them up, interacting with people, and he does a great job like during my stream interacting with people. Someone raids and I'm mid game and I don't see it. They're there. My mods are on top of it, thanking those people. And when I do see it, because obviously I'll see it eventually, then I can come in and be over the top. But that way they feel that love from the get-go. But yeah, Discord is something I'd say highly start investing time and energy into building a community and answering that question. Okay, am I giving enough value for $4.99?
Yeah.
Because if that answer is yes, perfect. Because here's the deal: if someone subs, they're going to keep showing up usually.
Yeah.
But that's the goal. But other than that, man, I mean, I think it's just the other things are just happening so right. I mean, you're posting your content on a regular basis. I guess we can dive a little bit into the actual content.
No clue. Sadly, what is going on with editor anymore? Not because like he upped his prices, but because my work is thinning, which sucks. But that means I have to learn video editing, which is
yeah,
it's such a pain in the ass, dude.
It's a different animal.
Oh yeah, photography is easy, and I'm sure you know this dealing with both because you did graphic design. You created your logo, if I'm correct, right?
Yep,
you did all that.
Yeah, all my animations and everything,
which is insane. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
But yeah, I like, is this open to questions and you can cut this out of the video? Is this open to questions or what you want to talk about?
No, whatever you got. This is just an open dialogue.
Okay. I want to ask you something that nobody talks about, and when I say nobody, I mean they whitewash it. They cover it as broad as they can, and I don't know why. The only person who hasn't is Harry Seller, and where he went into every dime, where his money comes from. How do you get sponsorships? Because I do you want to see my stream, like, and what it looks like and everything, to where it's like you can see the quality of it, or do you want to go to a VOD or something like that? But my stream looks really good.
Yep.
And that is one thing that I was very avid about. My audio sounds good. My visuals look amazing. I have 2 full frame cameras that I've got from photography and doing that job, and I've incorporated them. And I just want to know how to do I contact them? Do they contact me? Like this is the newest part that I know can take a ton of stress off of, hey, I'm relying on my subs to work.
Yeah, it can, and it can't at the same time. What I would tell you, as far as sponsors and partnerships go, this was something I was very, very adamant about. Is many people just want to get a partnership or a sub, and they don't really think about what does it mean. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of companies out there that will do what they call partnership programs, which is, hey, we're going to give you a creator code. If people use your creator code, we're going to give you a fraction of that, and we're going to send it to you. We'll send you some free product. You feel like you're sponsored. They let you put your logo up, or you put their logo up. It feels great, but they're fucking you royally. They're bending you over. And the reason why is because for them, what are they doing? They're giving you product, which they have for pennies on the dollar because they already have it created. And then the marketing cost, they only pay to you once the sale is made.
Yeah.
So they're basically stealing. And then on top of that, what's super crazy is they're going to go ahead and there's so many different times that if somebody didn't use the creator code or use the link that they gave you, that never got counted for your sales at the end, because they're trying to track how many sales did you generate, how many sales did you bring in. So the one thing that was really big for me was very early on understanding that given this structure, right, given this philosophy, I need to be partnering with programs and systems that are valued in what I'm doing. And more often than not, I actually turned down 2 before I said yes. Again, we just sponsored with KNOSIS, but that deal, they actually reached out to me, and it was nothing more than them saying, hey, we've been following you for a while, and we're very interested in what's going on and what you're doing. We'd like to tell you more about our product. We sat down, we talked about it. But again, their initial deal was very similar to the programs that we just talked about. And I came back and pushed on them and said, no, that's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm not sitting here and just putting a product out there. Like, I need somebody who's investing time and energy into me. It doesn't have to be financial, but there has to be something else there that I'm getting from you that is taking time out, that I feel that this is a value two-way, so that I'm not just sitting here marketing you and hoping somebody uses a creator code. Because
I watched that video as well, and I've gotten again, I do a really great job at photography. I've
Mhm.
done a lot of sponsorships. I've worked with music artists, like pretty big names, and so with sponsorships. From the video that I saw about Harris, he was like, "Just wait till they come to you." I was
Mhm.
like, "I don't know if
You have to.
like," but
In the last month though, so I got two in, what are we? So I started in March, we're now in October. So 7 months, almost, let's call it 8.
okay,
8 months of content creation. I'd say in the first 7, I had 2 offers. Both of them were either things that there's no way I would believe in, or just offers that I'm not going to just take that offer just to take it. You know what I mean? That's just not what I want to do.
yeah. I had one
So
sponsorship, and but it was like it's cringeworthy.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it. Just listen, and to them, I mean, listen, they're trying to build a base as well, just like everybody else. It's just I don't want to align my brand with that, and that's fine. But KNOSIS came around, we figured it out. But in the last 2 months, then I've had 2 different ones, and it's 100% because of where the growth is and where the community is that they deem that viable. So we had KNOSIS, which you know about, but then I also got it's not a partnership or a sponsorship by any means, but Elgato reached out, and Elgato just sent me a brand new microphone.
Congratulations.
Well, I mean, but it's not a spot, they're just, but they reached out to me and basically were just like, hey, we have our new wave mic. We'd like to send it to you. Do me a favor, review it. Let us know if you like it. If you like it, keep using it, promote it. If you like it, make a piece of content on it. But again, the product for them is so pennies on the dollar. That's not a sponsorship per se, but it's,
you caught their eye.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
the thing that I'm having a hard time catching people's eye.
But it's got to be, it's 100% based on what do they see when they come around, right? What are they seeing on your growth metrics? What, if from a business perspective, why would we invest in this individual?
Right.
What does this person have that we can't get somewhere else? And sometimes that is the metrics. Hey, they're growing at an exponential rate. Sometimes that's their views, and to say that their views are off the chain. Sometimes it's just their personality. Sometimes they look at somebody and just say, this person's doing it the right way. But in any way, shape, or form, yeah, eventually they got to come to you. And KNOSIS reached out to me via email. So it was because my email was in my bio and on all my bios. They reached out to me that way. And then Elgato was on Twitter through a DM.
Wow.
And Twitter's actually my least popular platform. But they said they knew me from other things. Yeah, I think I have less than 300 followers on Twitter.
Yeah, same. I don't know how to navigate Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter's in my opinion a dying breed, but it's still heavily used.
Mm-hmm.
It was super popular early 2000s. It is dying off now, but it's still viable enough to keep using. It's not MySpace, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'd be at and what I'd be looking at. Now, I just pulled up how much are you playing Warzone versus just generic Call of Duty?
Oh, I switch it up back and forth. I dig multiplayer, but at the same time, I'm still trying to get my first solo win. So we're leveraging that to make that, once that actually happens, it's going to be a massive thing. If I can fucking get there, though.
My viewership drops off dramatically when it comes to multiplayer versus, well, not dramatically. I'll probably lose 20 viewers if I'm playing multiplayer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that just because no one cares about multiplayer anymore?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there are people who do it and do it very well. Jackzilla comes to mind, where all they basically do is search and destroy, but they annihilate people in search and destroy. I mean, they literally make teams quit almost every goddamn game. Like, it just... It's different, and then they're just having fun being idiots because they know they're so goddamn good at the game, where they're all going to use throwing knives this game or hatchets. It's just a different vibe. But yeah, when I play multiplayer, we've traditionally played Hardcore Headquarters, which is not a super popular game to watch, and I'll still do it on stream. I'll do it from time to time. Specifically, if we got more people on of the OG crew than just 4, and we want to play with everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, viewers will go down just because it's not. I think it's more fast paced than your average person wants, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Warzone's a little bit slower. It's a little bit more of a build, so I can pay attention to what's going on and hear the conversations and hear the teamwork and have personal. But then, here comes some action. versus multiplayer is action 24. You know, it's in your face as much as possible. So you kind of, it's like, all right, am I paying attention to the gameplay or am I paying attention to the commentary?
Right.
There's a little bit of that disconnect, but I mean, it doesn't say you can't be successful there. I've just always found that Warzone is more effective, in my opinion.
Right. Is there anything that, I guess I'm just wondering your honest opinion, and be as brutal as possible. Like it's not going to hurt my feelings because I want to grow from this. Is there anything that you look at on my channel that's like, no, I wouldn't include that. There's nothing that, like, I know about finding my own voice, but at the same time, I don't want to waste my time doing something that you see is like, don't do that.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, no. The short answer is no. A couple of suggestions that I would have for you. Aesthetically, to your point, aesthetically, it looks sharp as fuck. It's a very clean stream. You're operating at a very high bit rate. Your camera's on point. Your layout. I'd consider repositioning your camera. I'm watching you play. I don't know what we're playing here. Just deathmatch maybe. But your camera's over the map. So if I'm a viewer trying to play along with you, because that's really what it kind of is, right? Is they want to feel like they're playing along with you. They're part of that.
Can you? Camera's over the map. And
camera's in the upper left. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the map is. Move it to so like what mine is, what a lot of Call of Duty players are is, first of all, your camera could be smaller a little bit. Like you could shrink that part of your overlay. Okay. Not by a ton, but just by a little bit. Because they still want to see you, but it's probably about, it could be 90% of the size it is right now. Like that's about the equivalent. If you could cut off 10% of it and just shrink it a little bit, and then put it where a lot of creators do is they put it on the left or right side, where
not in the corner but in the side.
Correct.
Like
a lot of games can go in the corner and have no issues, but yeah, along the sides are, for Call of Duty especially, because the corners hold some semi-valuable information. Right, okay. Warzone, it's talking about your kill count, or it's talking about the weapons you're looking at, or your squad, who's alive, how many plates you have, all that stuff.
Okay.
So for that specifically, and then again, I mean, don't be afraid to reposition it depending on the game you play. Like some games, it makes sense to have it literally up top, like center top. Mm-hmm. You just kind of got to pay attention to the game and say, okay, where should I put this? The other thing that was super valuable to me, super valuable. It is a bitch and a half to set up. It takes time, but it will give you interaction, is any type of a reward system inside of your chat. When you go to my streams, how many times is shit being redeemed? Gifts popping up. Right? I mean, music play. It's happening all the damn time. And then the reason why is because that's what way that they can interact.
Yeah.
Right? We have it so all of the OGs, all of my OG crew have their own GIF. So if they do something sweet in Warzone, right, the chat can basically kind of cheer for them, and the cost is super low. It's like 25 points, and you can use two different ones. Twitch has their own, but Streamlabs or OBS has one built in already. I use the Streamlabs or OBS one, which I get a lot of people who ask, well, why do I have so many of these Twitch points? I can't do anything but like highlight my message, and I'm like, well, I just really don't care. Yeah. But the other ones
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say they get points by subbing to the channel, by viewing, time spent within the channel gifts them. If they gift subs, if they donate, like basically anything you could think about that's an interaction. And obviously, the bigger the interaction, the more points they get. Some of my people have so many points they don't know what the fuck to do with them.
Yeah, no.
But they can gamble those where they can choose how much they're doing and roll. It picks a random number. They can redeem things. And again, now I'm starting to continue to evolve. I mean, early on, it was all just like musical gifts and things like that. Then it became more personal with the OG members and cheering on people. And then it became like almost like perks where I had to deem this one down a little bit, but we had like redeem a shot where, hey, if you build it up and call it in, and there's I think it was an hour timer on it. I'm not just gonna sit here and pound shots, but I'll take a shot in your name. Before the music crackdown, we had redeem a song, and I'll play a song live on stream. Mm-hmm. We have like get a VIP badge, which you have access to as an affiliate, or as an affiliate, where people can get VIP badges next to their names, not your mods, but regular people. Just like these little things that they can do to A, feel part of the community, but B, interact. Right?
Yeah.
And then I had to create a command because I kept getting asked from people, well, how do I get points? So I had to create a command that explained how it works. And then I had to create a command that's a menu. It's a very elaborate system, but again, it gives them the opportunity to interact more and to redeem more and cheer and do funny things and all that.
I mean, well, that was the thing that I added later is the stereotypical like posture check, hydrate, stuff like that, that they offer. But I did watch yours, and I was actually watching. I think I watched on a bad night because you switched over from console playing to PC, and they kept redeeming it, and you're like, okay, guys, like not annoyed with you, but it's going around in my ear, and I was like, nope, no fucking way, I'll blow up.
Yeah, yeah. The PC was challenging because it does play over, but again, you can. It depends what you're playing. Call of Duty was really tough with that because I need to hear. And specifically, if it's the night I'm thinking of, my OGs specifically came in and spammed my chat. And they were doing it on purpose.
Man, you want to throw them?
No, I wasn't. And I talked to them after, and and we were drinking that night, and it was just, it was a bad judgment call by them. They knew it. I apologized for overreacting. They apologized for doing it in the first place. It was fine. But
for sure.
But you're right. Yeah, it's super annoying if you play on PC to that extent. But you can also do ones that aren't necessarily volume based. That could be potentially just you doing something to your point, whether it's changing the RB lighting behind you.
Oh, I have those available to me. Oh shit. Oh.
Yeah, change the lighting, or the crackdown on the music is really more for your in-game stuff. They're not doing it as much for the in-between, like your intermission.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do one that was like a song or something like that, or the other thing is if you're really worried about it, just put timers on shit. You know what I mean? Yep. Put on every single one some form of timer. But you can be creative with it. Like one of mine, because there's a couple of the teammates that I play with that I'm just, again, because we know each other so well, I'm just dicks to them, like more so than the other people. So one of the redeems that we created that can only be redeemed once a night is a thing called Best Friends, which is whoever redeems it gets to pick one person, and I'm literally gonna be overly nice to that one person all night. So if I'm being overly dickish and the chat feels bad, they can redeem it, and I'll be super nice to that person moving forward, like overly positive about the stupidest things, like, wow, that was a great claymore you just laid, really, really good. But you give it some thought, right? And again, like changing your lighting, playing a song, getting you to drink, whether what we did instead of shots is I created the Hail Hydrate, which is the same money as the shot, but I pound a glass of water. Again, it has a timer on there. You just get creative, you start thinking about it, and they like it because again, they can interact with it and play with it. And again, you can control, like, shots are on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays for me, and then the rest of the days the Hail Hydrate's active.
Okay.
But again, it gives them something to redeem up to, and again, they then can gamble with it, and while they're watching you, they're part of that community. They're interacting, and that's at the end of the day what people want. And so it all goes back to, am I giving this person $5 worth of content? Is this valuable? Is this $5? Is spending this night here worth the $5? And for a lot of these people, I get more than any other compliment that I get is on my community. It's people saying, holy shit, like when we step into your chat, like, this is a different animal. This is a different thing that's going on. There's way more interaction. They're playing around with each other. Like, it's different.
Yeah. Dude, okay. One, I really appreciate this because I think I got caught up in trying to make my stream look really nice. Like, I think that was one thing that I looked at Nick Merckx. I look at all the top 1%ers, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have it look like that.
Yeah, but that's part of it. I mean, there's part of that, right? I mean, you got to think about it. What's my cost of entry? When I pull up a new streamer, kind of to your point, right? What am I noticing first?
Yeah.
It's, for me, I'm going to look at how many followers they have. I'm going to look at how often they're posting content. I'm going to look at the type of content they're posting, the quality of that content. Like, yeah, I'm judging that stuff. It's cost of entry for me to pique my interest.
Yeah.
But then once that cost has been paid, you've crossed that bridge. What's next? So you got the person to immediately look at it and say, this looks nice. But then what's next? What's the next step? Okay, next step is, that extra X factor. It's your ability, again, to communicate with other people, to interact with your chat, to provide that value. Are you providing $5 worth of value? If that answer is yes, they're gonna sub. They will.
Yeah.
Unless they can't afford it, in which case that's fine too.
Yeah. I wanted to ask your take on doing sub games, like scheduling that. Like, do you personally schedule out sub games?
Yes. Dubs with subs.
Like that happens every week?
No.
Okay, when do you schedule those?
Randomly.
Ah, that's right, because your schedule's random. God dang it, dude.
Yeah, I'll do it. We did it. So I owed them one. We had one scheduled, and then I got sick. I thought I had COVID. I didn't, thankfully. But like, I went through the list of COVID symptoms. It was a miracle I didn't have it. Yeah, it was.
COVID,
I had it for like 4 days. Yeah, but I had to miss the one that we had scheduled. So I made up one to him, but then as part of that October Madness I showed you before on our Discord, for one of the first levels that we did from part of that reward system was once we hit 500 subs on the month, I'm going to do another dubs with subs. So we hit that on Saturday, I think last week, and so I rolled it back and did it last night with them. So we literally did a dubs with subs on Saturday, I think, and then did another one on Tuesday. But they kind of earned the second one. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, and that's because I saw that I watch, like I look at things and I try to figure out like the whole 2 times a day posting is probably going to be my sweet spot, just because I watched you watch Crusader. Crusader could post once a week and people will still.
Yeah, I mean, she's just at a level now where her outreach is every video she posts. Well, that's not true. She's got some restrictions that are on her from she's been openly vocal about her dislike for some things about TikTok, and they've noticed.
No, and I'm not gonna say that she's wrong either.
No, she's absolutely not. But she knows what she's doing, and to her, it's more important to be authentic than it is to suck up to somebody and just give them everything they want. They've had personal conversations, her and some of the people over at TikTok, about various things, and TikTok has asked her to do things and create content that she didn't really want to do, and she told them no, and they weren't happy about it. Like, there's just been situations where, again, she's just, she stood up for herself, and that's the best thing that she could possibly do. But to your point, yes, she's at such a level, I mean, with 2 million followers, that she could post one video, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I found the sweet I say this, but I say this, but I have people that are counter to it.
Man, I get it if you're tired.
No, I'm not saying that. It's not that I'm tired. It's that I know what I want to say, but it's like, this isn't a law. You know what I mean? It's like my belief, I post 2 to 3 times a day, like clockwork. Yeah. When I was at my sickest was the first day I missed in 8 months in posting. Jeez. One day.
Yeah.
And usually it's very methodical of the type of content that I'm posting, but usually it's 2 to 3 posts per day. But I say that like, hey, this is what I got figured out. But I mean, again, Big Rob Energy is a great example of another content creator who's got 50,000 more people than I do, who posts, I don't know, fucking 7 times a day.
Yeah.
But his content is much more, like him, just kind of talking. It's him responding to a comment, or real quick, like, hey, give me your thoughts on this. Like, post your comments or post your thoughts in the comments. I don't do a ton of that as much as he does. But so there's not like this law that says this is the number that you have to post.
Right.
And the other challenge with TikToks especially is that the algorithm is changing so often that you can't really get a hold of it. The best thing I could tell you is it's way more about quality than it is quantity. Don't put shit out there. Right. But you do want to be creating content on a regular basis and getting it out there more than once a day or once every 4 times a week type thing. You got to be way more consistent than that. Yeah. And then starting to pay attention to your analytics and saying what videos are going viral and why. Was it the actual content that I posted, or was it the time of day that I posted? Was it the hashtags that I used?
Yeah, I've actually gone off hashtags or not off completely, but off using like 20 in one.
Yeah, I use 4 or 5 usually.
Yeah. See, my analytics are because I had such a big following that was across so many things. Like, my analytics on my followers, like I'm looking right now.
Yeah, but here's the piece of it, man. Here's the part of the analytics that very few people talk about is, at the end of the day, the algorithm still prioritizes viewership. And here's what I mean by that.
Okay.
If somebody, like, if I pulled up your account today and looked at 2 videos, shut down the app, and tonight pulled it up, on my following page or on my For You page, there's a strong likelihood one of those videos, not one of those videos, but some of your videos might pop up. Because the algorithm recognizes me as interacting with you and interested in your content. So it's going to take your content and put it up there. When I pull up, like, even my following page right now, like if I hop over to my following page and flip through, there's probably 10 creators that will suck up the first, I don't know, 30 videos.
Yeah.
And it's because the app is like, these are the creators you watch all the time. Now, I can go back to some of the people that I follow, and I don't have a huge people that I follow, right? There's not like, I think I have like 300 maybe that I follow. If I pick one randomly and watch a couple of their videos, then all of a sudden they're going to pop up. So to this point, I make this comment because you might have a ton of followers, but if they're not consistently engaging with your content, they're kind of dead. They're MIA. They're sitting out in space because you're not popping up on their For You page. You're not popping up on their following page even. You know, and it's not until they re-engage with you in some way, shape, or form that you will. So although you have all these followers and you produce a piece of content and you're like, well, why did this video only get 1,000 views when I have 100,000 followers? It's because the majority of them never even saw it.
Yeah.
But that's what you want to take a look at and start asking and start saying, all right, from an analytical perspective, when a video does go viral, why? The majority of time with my stuff, when my stuff goes viral, it's because it tells a story. 100, usually all the time. It's either very interactive or it tells a story. My most popular video ever was me hitting a snipe from 400 meters out, which isn't, there's people who have hit way longer snipes than that.
No, I saw that one.
Yeah. But why was that video so popular? The video is so popular because as I'm dropping down, first of all, music matched the playlist perfectly, right? It's this nice kind of steady beat. As I'm dropping down, I'm dropping at a steady pace. The text of what's going on, I'm giving you context to this video, kind of preamble. Grabbing my sniper, hitting the shot, and then after I hit the shot, there's this commentary between me and my partner, Thunder Booty, where she's like, wait, you did not just hit that. You did not, like, no way, you know, where that then kind of caps off. So you got this like narrative that just happened, the storytelling. Because the number one factor for a video to go viral is viewership. It's what percentage of your total video do people watch? If it's a 60-second clip and you can get them to watch 58 seconds of it, that video is going to go fucking viral all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why like loadout videos do so well for viral shit, because people want to stick around. They want that information, right? You start by saying you got the best gun in Warzone. Okay, what do you got? You show me some clips of you shredding with it. That looks pretty good. All right, what is that? And then at the very last second of the video, you're going to give me this loadout. It's because I got to wait to the end to get that. So when I watch this video, you know, you got a 60-second clip, a 40-second clip, people are watching. All right, perfect. A lot of people's videos, especially gameplay videos, and I haven't looked at yours, I don't know this, but a lot of people's editing, what they do is they take too long on the front end. Where you got to think this app is so fast. You got a few seconds for somebody to decide whether or not I'm going to keep investing time into this. So those first like 2-3 seconds are valuable. And if the first 2-3 seconds are still just nothing, it's almost you setting up the clip. Like there's no commentary, there's no real music. It's just you kind of like running to a specific position without any other context. Like I'm off, I'm done. So now you got the 60-second clip that your average view time is 4 seconds. Thing's dead.
Yeah.
You could have the back 20 seconds of this clip could be the most insane fucking gameplay of all time, and it's just not going to be seen. But if you can cut it correctly, and maybe you take that 60 seconds down to 30 seconds, and in those first few seconds, either you're dubbing over commentary, giving us some context, some storytelling, or we're getting right into action of what's going on, and I'm seeing some sweet ass shit right away. Perfect. Now we're off to the races.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's the deal with content, is you got to think about what are you doing, you know, and why would a video go viral? And it doesn't mean you're always, I mean, to the point we made earlier, wrong way more than I'm right. I've literally spent and I mean like 4 fucking hours making a video and it doesn't go anywhere. And some of my most highly produced stuff is actually some of my least popular.
Yeah, same. Fucking same.
Yeah. I mean, my collab videos are like produced at the highest, like they're almost like mini trailers. Anytime I'm collabing with somebody, I make these mini fucking trailer videos that are, you know, hyping up what's going on, and it'll boost my viewership for that stream. but it's not like it's going viral, and it's because a person who doesn't know who I am doesn't care who I'm collabing with. Like, they don't know who I am. So if I pop up on your For You page and you know, it's the first thing you see is my logo, you're like, oh, fuck this douche, you know? Who's this guy? But if you follow my brand and you know my brand, you see that logo, first thing you think is, oh shit, what's Curtis doing?
Yeah. No, you're one of the few creators that I actually check daily to see what you have to post, because your stuff's good. Like, I'm being genuine. Like,
I appreciate that.
Your stuff is really good. Your logo is fucking insane. Like, it pisses me off because, like, for me, it takes me so long to get into what I like and what looks good. For yours, it's so detailed, and the way you've done it in so many ways. Like, you have figured that out. I saw some of your merch, like what's coming out. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
Would love to know your merch connection, because I'm fucking bored of mine.
But here's the thing with merch, right? Is you got to have the community for them to buy the merch.
Oh, I have. That's the frustrating part. They're all like, where are the hats coming from? Like, when are the hats coming? I was like, if my merch guy would make hats, I would release them. I promise. Like, the desire's there. Like, there's a ton of support with my merch, and I think I can actually, if you don't like, if that's something you want to talk about. If not, I totally understand.
No, I mean, so with merch, I mean, the thing with merch with me was quality. Right, my whole brand's about quality. I would care way more about producing a higher quality item than something that's lower quality. So with that being said, it was super important to me to have that in the merch. And we went through 3 different vendors. 2 of them just weren't going to be able to produce the quality. The third one was a mom and pop shop that actually Crusader used. That's close family friends with her, but because they're a smaller group and they're working with her on her stuff, which is such a massive rollout with her next line of stuff, they're like, hey, we don't have the time to commit to this right now, which I understood, and I told them that's perfectly fine. But it just, again, was one of those weird anomaly type situations where I logged on to Instagram and got a DM, kind of like what I told you what happened with Cruise. This is what happened with this vendor. Like, they sent me a message literally just being like, hey, we're a smaller group that really focuses on quality. Here's a couple of creators that we work with. If you're thinking about merch or anything, we'd love to talk to you. And I reached out to them and I was like, guys, I got designs. Like, my designs are created. We're on the 2-yard line, and I need somebody who I know I can trust to produce a product that is quality. Yep. And that's what they stepped in. They're like, yeah, this is a no-brainer for us. And they've been excellent with it. But again, I mean, merch, to have all that created didn't mean anything if you don't have a community that's willing, because, you know, I mean, it's not like merch is this huge home run income producing asset. Yeah, you can do it, but if you're really going at it with margins, you're probably you're either going too high on cost or you're sacrificing on quality. Right, you got a $6 t-shirt that you're selling for $18, but at the end of the day, it's a $6 fucking like it's gonna get washed twice and start to break. Right. You know, all of our stuff is Bella Canvas.
Simplicity is awesome for me. Like, that's why I loved when you did the whiteout Bad Bear Gaming, where you can't even see the detail of the bear. I know the logo so well. Like, your branding of it is genius.
Yeah, we had to redo that specifically actually for merch. And the reason why was because the other stuff was too detailed, obviously. It was great for, you know, putting on top of a video, great for throwing in this, but I needed a more simplistic logo moving forward to be able to put it on, you know, to be able to put it on a t-shirt, to put it on a overlay and have it be tiny, but people still know what it is, because you don't need the detail to tell. Yeah, super excited about that.
Man, I genuinely don't. Sorry about that. I genuinely don't have any other questions. If there's anything that you see that I'm doing that you want to offer advice on or anything, like,
no, I tell you, I mean, here's what I believe, right? I believe when it comes to business, you want to focus on what are kind of the 3 to 4 things that I need to tackle right now. And if you can identify those and get them done, you know, you can take the next step from that point and say, okay, what are the next 3 or 4 things? But what you don't want is, you don't want a laundry list of shit, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's not about throwing out the playbook and saying, hey, we have to start over. Right. But it is way more about saying, okay, how do I modify this to be more successful doing what I'm doing, and re-engaging and reconnecting with people and this and that. So, I mean, again, to recap some of the things that we talked about is, I would be investing, as far as your stream is concerned, I'd be investing in some form of reward system. I'd also be looking into networking opportunities and chances to collab and market the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
And then I would be turning around and really building up the Discord to make that more of that community-based feel.
Yeah.
And then content is just keep producing content that is, of a high pedigree, which again, you have all the materials to do so.
Mm-hmm. Man, yeah, no, I'm super thankful for this, man, bro. I hope you chop this up, because there's so many people that have had these questions, and you are answering a lot of them, because nobody really says the specifics. They don't go into the specifics, probably because they can't. But
yeah, it's one of two things, right? It's either, no, it's way more than two things, but it's either they don't know it. Majority of streamers, though, especially decent size, having some fair amount of success, do know these elements. Very few people are operating at a high level without them. Very few people. Some are, but so they know about it. They know what they're doing. There's a lot of people out there that, for whatever reason, feel like somebody else's success is going to take away from mine. Where, hey, if somebody else is successful, I'm not going to be successful there. And this has always been my mindset and why I like doing these calls. I've had multiple people that I've had these types of calls with and taken the time and talked about marketing and strategizing and all these things. And then that person ends up having more followers than me. They end up blowing up faster than me. And it's because, hey, they added their own flair and for whatever reason, they picked up things that I didn't get, and kudos to them. But guess what? When I talk to those people, they're fucking still talk to me like I'm the alpha in the room. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not. You definitely have more followers than I do at this point, but they're asking me to collab. And it's like,
but you're building.
I'm building relationships, man. And if they can succeed, I mean, to my point, right? If somebody takes off and becomes 10 times as valuable as I am, that's a relationship I'm going to be so happy is in my back pocket. Not to say that the only reason I do this stuff is self-serving, but there is definitely that element of you got to feel happy when people succeed. The other challenging thing that's happening for me right now is I'm seeing my community diversify. And what I mean by that is I will go live at the same time as somebody else inside of my community, and some of my community members will go watch that other person instead of watching me. Initially, I was thinking about that like a little bit from a negative standpoint and being like, well, what the fuck? But then I had to step back and kind of say, dude, that's what this is about. You know what I mean? Like that's I don't own these people.
Working.
Yeah, I don't own these people. Like they're not my property. They're viewers. They're independent. And listen, if they found somebody else because of me that they enjoy, and they happen to enjoy someone else's content in that moment more than mine, like enjoy that. And I'm glad that I'm the bridge that helped bring those things together. And then that other community member individual who's getting that view, right, is even more in love with the Bear Gang because of what the Bear Gang did, right? Is the Bear Gang was the viewership that they got that night. So they're, at the end of the day, they're looking at it like, hey, their community is my community.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's always evolving. There's always stuff you got to be paying attention to and working through and dealing with. But at the bottom, at the back of everything, you got to control what you can control, right? Don't worry about all the ancillary shit that you can't. But if I can produce high quality content, I can continue to pump out good stuff, fix the issues that I feel like I'm having, network, build relationships. Like that's what this is all about.
Yeah. Well, man, you're doing fantastic. And I think it's funny. So, me and a buddy of mine were looking at bigger streamers, and they're doing like Tim the Tapman and Nick Merckx probably always be OGs, like they always will be.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a tension leaving some of the middle people who have been at the middle for a long time and are coming for the newer. And so, man, I wouldn't be surprised if you're one of those people that just pop up to 10,000.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I appreciate it, definitely. I like looking at it from the perspective of I don't know what tomorrow holds. I'm enjoying today, and I'm enjoying doing what we're doing. And my viewers have gone up, my viewers have gone down. We've had people fall off. We've had new people come in. We've had people literally in their first month in the community gift over 100 subs. Like, it's just people come in and immediately feel validated and comfortable with what's going on. It's just, you're always going to have these ebbs and flows, and there's going to be months that are better than others. But the biggest thing you got to pay attention to is the content. And you look at like Nick Merckx. I mean, a lot of people don't remember, dude. Nick was a championship gamer in the mid 2000s.
Yep.
Like he was playing Gears of War at a tournament pro level.
Yep.
You know, and they see him today and they say, oh, he's just a Call of Duty player. It's like, no, this guy was playing Fortnite. Then he went, you know, he's been doing this for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And at a professional level, like this is what he does. And yeah, he's, I mean, obviously at the epitome and in the top of his game right now. But yeah, it's crazy to think about where it could go and what could happen. And the biggest thing I try to focus on is today and what can I do and how can I help and help bring as many people along with me as possible. If I'm succeeding, fantastic. If I bring 10 people with me that succeed, that's even better.
I have to ask why though. I have to, I just because like I'm nosy, probably to a fault, but I'm curious why I don't know if it's because you're in the business of helping people do better, if that's like naturally just in your blood, like you just want to raise people up.
Yeah. I mean, there's a portion of that, but again, there's multiple reasons. Number one is I will create,
and this isn't like a gotcha moment. I'm not trying to do
no.
that.
And the transparent answer is there's kind of a few different reasons, right? One of them is if I help somebody, they're going to be very loyal to my brand for a long time.
Yeah.
Especially if I help them and they start to take off. Mm-hmm. Number two is I feel like what I do is not rocket science, right? If I figured it out, it kind of goes back to what I said before. Somebody else's success does not take away from mine in most instances. Just because somebody else starts having success and getting viewership usually doesn't mean that my viewership goes down because of that, right? Yeah. We're not fighting. And in most cases, if I help them, they're actually, the way I speak about Cruz, like you hear it in my voice, like I'm like, this chick's the fucking deal. She's the out, like, you know, boom.
Yeah.
And if I can find people who talk about me in that way, that in general conversation without being prompted are bringing me up, being like, hey, this was the guy who did it for me. Yeah. And they're promoting my brand and my, you know, that's a dub. And then there's room at the top for everybody. Like if people can live their dreams and figure out one or two things that they're doing differently that help them succeed and they change that, just fuck, even if they never recognize me for that, but they got it from me in some ancillary way, doesn't matter. Like they're doing what they want to do. I just helped somebody improve their overall life to do what they wanted to do more. And that's big.
Yeah.
That's just the empathy, I think, more than anything.
Would you offer this as a paid service, like what you're doing? Not
I thought about it.
Subs, but
yeah,
like,
I thought about it, but
because the information you've given, like I was kind of half expecting you to be like, all right, I can do it at this rate.
No, I don't have
like
ass. Yeah, I don't have ass shit.
Like but not that would have been a bad thing at all. I was just like,
no. I mean, the question. I mean, I guess the bigger thing that I've never really dove into is, you know, number one, what's the value of that in my opinion? And then number two is, do I still get the same output? I told you my value right now, and I'll take you as a great example. Let's say you turn this ship, right? And you start, your viewership climbs up and you get into a position kind of like me where, hey, you're getting, you know, you got 2,000 subs on the books. You got, you know, 80 people in every single time you stream. Things are humming and you can see the path to continue to grow from there, right? You're happy as a fucking clam. If you had to pay me for that service, you probably thought that as this was a decision that I made and that was a one-time transactional deal. That person helped me, but I gave them their due, right? I paid them that money. Mm-hmm. And much to my point earlier, if we don't do that, right? If I just invest, again, in this case, you know, 2 hours into a conversation like this, and this ends up helping you, and I post a video like this on YouTube and I make some other content and that helps me, like, you know, you're going to turn around and say, listen, this guy invested that time into me. Yeah. When he didn't have to. Right. And that's more valuable to me than any amount of, you know, hey, $50, $70, $200, $500. I don't care. Like, however much you think it's worth, it's worth way more to have that relationship. Way more. Yes. Always.
I'm glad you're like that.
Yeah. I mean,
I hate saying that, but that is a rare thing. I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to monetize on what they do and how they do it. And that's, I mean, again, that's a prerogative, but it's a short-sighted vision.
Yeah.
And sometimes that short-sighted vision can be offset by other things. Like if I was, you know, if relationships didn't matter to me because I kind of already had that core crew and I was making, you know, $400,000 a year making content, and like I was in a position that it just really didn't matter, all right, yeah, I'll take a paycheck, sure, hooray. But I'm not, and I don't care. Like, you know, I make a good living because I have my other job. This is more just a side gig for me. I enjoy it, but I'm in it way more for the networking than I am the financial benefits, and that's why I started from the beginning, was for the entertainment more than the monetary. People who get into this strictly looking at it for monetary reasons very rarely work out, because it's so obvious what they're trying to do.
Right.
You got it, man.
And
Well, if you need anything, obviously let me know. I mean, I'm around. But yeah, that should give you some stuff to kind of work on and piece up and put together. And
oh yeah, no, there's a lot that's going to be changing. And man, I will continually sing your praises.
I appreciate it.
And I know I'm like a very complimentary person when people do good work for me. Like it's a good thing to raise someone up when they do a good job, not just chastise them when they do a bad job.
Yeah, we as an industry just need as much positivity as possible, because there's so much negativity and toxicity out there. Right? It's one thing to be toxic with people, you know, but I mean, I made a video about it the other day where, you know, even where I'm at, some people just come in and they're just fucking toxic from the beginning. You catch me on a bad day and yeah, I'm going to clap back. And what did that person do? They clapped back then again. And, you know, he clapped back and started commenting and spamming. I got like 6 notifications at like 3 a.m. one day that he's just going and commenting on all the comments that are on my videos and just with negative shit, calling me a bitch and this. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, some people are just that way. It's like, all right, well, you know, you can believe what you want to believe and call it out the way that you see it. That's fine. But we need as much positivity as possible. Otherwise, it's going to be tough, but you can't please everyone.
Yeah. Well, man, you're doing fantastic. And this is off the video or whatever. If you ever need anything, and I said this over text, but I mean it. If you need something, need photos for anything,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Like, I'm being dead serious, man. Like I've done work for a lot of professionals. If you need professional photos of people set up photo shoots, send me your merch and I'll send it right back and you'll get it for free. This thing that you provided is fucking massive.
It's gonna be big, and I appreciate it, man. I mean, it's the goal that I can do, and that's why I've done a bunch of these, right? I don't know, you're probably 10 that I've done this for, where I've literally taken, every time I say, hey, let's talk
for a 2-hour-long conversation.
Usually they're 90. Usually they're 90 minutes. This one was a little bit more detailed because you had a little bit more on the books, right? You have a little bit deeper of a understanding of what's going on and already a pre-noted context that is out there. Usually they've been about 90 minutes, and every single time I get off of it being like, I should have recorded that. I should have done it. And the reason why is because not only is it good, it's good TikTok content to cut up, but it's even better. It's a YouTube video. You know what I mean? It's something.
That's why I recorded my side. I was like, I'm going to study this. Like, I dude, if you call me one day and like just pop into my stream and be like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. You kind of fucked up here. I will never get mad. Ever. Not like just being like,
no, I mean, but you gotta be
like, I think people need to understand that criticism is not a negative thing all the time. Criticism is just saying, hey, I was a viewer. I was sitting down in your stream as a viewer and I wasn't impressed. I was very bored.
It kind of depends on how you deliver that though as well. I mean, we had, I'm just going to call him out on it because he knows about it. Danny Dorito, real good friend of mine, real great content creator, made a very bad move about a couple weeks ago where...
I think I saw his video, but I didn't understand what it attained to.
Yeah, he, another large content creator, Jordy, forget her name. I follow her. She makes great content. It's embarrassing that I can't remember this off the top of my head. But basically she made a video that was, a little bit more basic than her normal videos. And so he just made a video that simply was stating that she could have put a little bit, you know, as content creators, I know that we're all strapped. We're trying to come up with new, fresh ideas, but this one seemed a little basic. Like, we could do better. But did it in such a public form by just like posting on it that it came across... It came across as, you know, like he's trying to use her for his own clout and bashing her, and that was not, he's not that person. Like, that's not, it wasn't his intention in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But if you don't, if you don't know the context, that's how it comes off. And then the other problem is Now you basically poked at a streamer who's larger than you, and she's got more. I forgot how many she has, 120 maybe thousand. But that's a bad fight to pick, because now all of a sudden, like, I hopped over to one of her videos where she was responding to him, and her that whole chat is bashing him now, and it's like,
yeah,
I felt so bad for him because he did nothing more than what we all have done, which is try something new.
Yeah.
Right. We're always trying, content creators are always trying to push the envelope, not to copy what everyone else is doing and find our bread and butter, but also push and say, what other content can I create that no one else is creating? And what he tried to do is create a video that was basically almost like criticism, kind of to your point, of content, right? An audit, to basically say, hey, dear other content creator, like, we could do better on this video, and we can, I know you're capable of it, type thing. It wasn't received that way, and we've all tried shit that doesn't work.
Yeah. I learned a long time ago, thank God, before anyone knew my name. I stay away from public calling people out unless they legitimately talk to them privately. I'm 27 years old. I had a great father who, whenever he had to chastise me, he took me privately because he didn't want to shame me. He didn't want to publicly humiliate me in front of friends, family, whoever, coworkers, and was like, "Hey,
you gain nothing from it."
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's just like respect for the other person. Like, if you ever did something, you bet your ass I'm never gonna make a video publicly and be like, "Hey, Bad Bear, wrong take.
Yeah,
bad fucking job."
Yeah, I've made, I think, 3 of those videos in my career where I've clapped back at somebody for clapping at me, and it goes nowhere. I do it in the heat of the moment because I'm like, fuck this dude. Like, they said something that they shouldn't have said on the wrong day. And I'm in the right.
I like that video because I don't see you angry a lot, but it was fun to watch you clap back at a comment.
Well, and that's what the other part about it is I don't run too much on like, I'm pretty well educated to that standpoint of I can put together a pretty well logicated argument of why I'm upset and why this person is wrong. But again, I gain nothing from that. In fact, if I do anything, there's probably a silent group of people that, look at that and they're like, wow, this isn't who I thought he was, but they'll never say anything about it. So I lost some points in their minds, or maybe even an unfollow. The other relationship is down and out. I mean, because I just bashed them publicly. Anyone who follows them that also follows me that favors their stuff more than mine, those people are gone. Like, it's just, you gain nothing. There's nobody who watches that goes, ooh, I love this toxicity and I'm going to follow this now.
There are cretins like that, and
but you don't want your community full of that.
I don't want.
Yeah, you don't want your community to be full of that.
Exactly. But no, man, I just have a ton of respect with how you hold yourself, and even the fact that you were like, yeah, he knows what he did, because he does. I saw that video. I wasn't following Danny DeRito until I saw that, but the fact that he was like, hey, I fucked up, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he knew.
Didn't cover his tracks. Didn't say I messed up, but you were in. It's like, nope, just apologize. Just apologize. You were wrong.
Yeah, he and I spoke. So she posted a rebuttal video, and I was one of the first people to comment on that. I just happened to be online at the right time. And I defended Danny to that extent as well there. And so he publicly messaged me, or not publicly, privately messaged me and said, hey man, like, I really appreciate you, not thinking less of me. And I told him, I was like, bro, we've been there. Like, we try shit all the time that doesn't work. It's just, you took a bigger shot than most people. Like, I did a game night once that I hyped up to the fucking nth degree. I made like 6 different promos for it. And it was supposed to be, we were going to play Jackbox Party. And the problem was that my PC couldn't fucking handle it. So I hyped this shit up, and like the whole night failed because it was all super choppy on my stream because it couldn't handle it. This is before I got the new PC.
Yeah. It's just,
we fail at shit. It happens. Like, you chalk it up and you say, well, I mean, I tried.
Right. And that's what, like, it's good to have normal friends who know you.
Correct.
And that's, I can promise you that Danny DeRito was very thankful that you weren't like, are you fucking dumb?
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of people that,
But that's the thing is, like, if we're online, most of the time, our shit gets seen. Like, I put myself out there, and I welcome everyone to it. And that's one thing that I had to learn with photography, because someone said my photos sucked, and that killed me. I came from a very very emotionally loving family. Like
Yeah.
I could shit my pants and they'd be like, "It's okay, we love you. Just change your pants." But that wasn't the internet, and that's not the internet.
No, the
and that's
internet's a
not the
very different animal. There's a lot of positive. If you surround yourself with positivity, you get a lot of positivity, but it's not everyone. And realistically, you recognize the people. And the problem with it is, and I know, I know 5 people off the top of my head. I know exactly who their accounts are. That anytime they pop up and I see their name on a comment, I know it's something bullshit. Every time. It doesn't mean they do it on every video, but they do it enough that I know who they are. Yep. But it just is what it is. And listen, they have a right to their opinion. And actually, I've converted a couple in the past.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I just literally what I've done is like you just interact with them in the chat and call them out like you know who they are.
Yep.
You know, and a couple of them have actually been super negative towards my shit, and then been like, I don't get why this guy has so many followers. My gameplay is way better. This guy sucks. Yada yada yada.
I'm
and
not
then
a bitter bitch.
Well, yeah, and then eventually, like you make a comment, you're like, God, it must really piss you off. I'm on your For You page all the time. And then, you know, they come back, they're like, yeah, kinda. And you're like, man, you might as well just follow me at this point. And they're like, well, you know what? Whatever.
Yep.
Just
no. Well, it's crazy that you say that because one of my favorite mods is someone who is extremely sarcastic. I can deal with sarcasm, but it gets to the point where like if someone keeps poking, it's like, bro,
yeah,
I don't want to be rude to you in front of all these people, but I will.
Yeah.
I happily will. You think this is your place, but it's not. And he was actually super toxic. He was this British guy. In the beginning, Tom, if you watch this, I love you to death, but you were a little asshole. And he was so like, Americans fuck everything up. I was like, all right, bud, like just chill the fuck out with the American shit. Like, getting annoying because it was every time. But now he's like one of the most loving people in the community because we waited out his sarcasm. His gentleness came out, his kindness came out, and I was like, oh, you fit in right at home. You're just a military guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we've
most
had
of
a
the
couple of
time-
those people.
Yeah, and that's when it's like, yeah, I can wait you out. Of course, I can wait you out. I'm gonna be here all the time. But
Yeah, I've had one situation. He knows who he is. I'm not gonna call him out, but literally, he made a bad judgment call on my stream, and I called him out very publicly live on stream, and he took great offense to it, as he should have. But I took the step after that to that night message him privately one-on-one and say, hey, I'm following up to let you know, like, this is what happened, right? Is we were in a situation where in this specific situation was like basically spamming my chat. I had no mods there. I got 70 plus viewers. I'm by myself trying to manage this. Like, yeah, I'm going to call you the fuck out in front of everybody because I need to shut it down immediately. Like, I got no help. And I was like, hopefully you understand that. Hopefully you understand you're a valued member of this community. This was just a bad situation to be in. I overreacted. I apologize for that. But, and to your point, yeah, he messaged me back. He's like, dude, the fact that you even took the time like to do this means a ton. Most people wouldn't even. I understand, like, it was a bad call by me. I'm apologizing. Like, you know, it was bygones be bygones. We buried it. And he's been an excellent member of the community, not only for myself, but other members inside the Bear Gang for, you know, ever since he's been here. But yeah, to your point, I mean, sometimes it's just, we all get put into these situations that we don't want to be in. It's how you react on the backside that matters.
Yeah.